get to a whole bunch of stuff. So, and your calls. All right, here we go.
We'll get it done. On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, it sure is. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig, and oh boy, we got a lot of good news, a lot of things that we're going to go through, a lot of new news. We're going to break down and analyze a whole bunch of stuff, and I cannot believe it is the last day of January 2024 already, 1 month closer to President Trump becoming president-elect again. Oh, man. Now, yesterday, here in South Florida, did you see what was going on at the Palm Beach airport? I got a photograph that is a great photograph. I've not shown it to anyone yet. I will put it on my Instagram later today. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, do it. I should have done it before I went on the air, but after the show, I'll post this to Instagram. Biden came to town yesterday for a bunch of fundraisers. I don't know, were those fundraisers that Biden came to Florida for yesterday? Were those Nikki Haley fundraisers? I wouldn't be surprised. But Biden came to town yesterday, flew into Palm Beach International Airport, and he brought one of Trump's planes to town. Of course, I'm talking about Air Force One. And I've got this incredible photograph. There was just an amazing thing happen at Palm Beach International Airport. And Air Force One was parked nose to nose with Trump Force One, and I've got a great photograph of it. It's absolutely amazing. Biden's so checked out. I don't think he realized Trump Force One was right in front of Air Force One at the airport, and I thought that was a pretty cool thing. But I haven't gotten any updates on whether or not Biden was here for Nikki Haley fundraisers directly or indirectly, but he was here yesterday, and I was watching our local news in Palm Beach last night to see the coverage of Biden in town, and everywhere Biden went, he was in Jupiter, and and driving through Palm Beach. Everywhere Biden went, he was met by MAGA people. And there's this local news guy who hates Trump. I've seen him at Mar-a-Lago so many times, and he's always just seems miserable. He hates Trump, but his beat is covering Trump, and he hates him. I mean, it's so strange. But everywhere that Biden went in President Trump's car, the Beast, he was greeted by MAGA supporters. And they found the reporter in the local news found one person who was not MAGA in Jupiter to interview, and it was a woman who's in town on vacation who just happened to be walking by, and it's like, oh, I was walking down the street, and I saw everything that was going on, so I thought, I'd see what the presidential motorcade looks like. He couldn't find one Biden supporter on the streets of Palm Beach yesterday, so that was very good. You made us proud, everybody. Oh, man, all those MAGA patriots showing up to greet Brandon. It was a beautiful thing. But I do love that photograph I have of Air Force One nose to nose with Trump Force One. Follow me on Instagram if you don't. Brian Craig Show on Instagram. After I get off the air at 9 o'clock, I'll post it up there. All right, so, we're hardcore into presidential election season right now. I mean, this is it. I mean, we're in presidential election season much earlier because the primary is over. I mean, Nikki Haley is just getting creamed. I've got some new polls, including in South Carolina, which I'll get to in a little bit. But Nikki Haley is just being destroyed in the polls. She does not have a viable campaign, but she's going to continue to run. And the conventional wisdom is that she'll run through South Carolina. And she gave an interview yesterday, and she said, it's not over. I just got to South Carolina. Nikki Haley has been in South Carolina her entire life, and Trump is polling in the 60s. Okay, she was twice elected governess of South Carolina, and she's been there for 50 years. I mean, what's going to happen in the next couple of days that hasn't happened in the last half century, Nikki Haley? But the conventional thinking from everyone is that Nikki Haley is going to drop out of the race after South Carolina. And maybe that's correct. No one knows. But I think there's a good chance she'll stay in it. And I'm going to tell you why. You know, there's a lot of interviews. She's doing a lot of TV interviews. And if you notice, her TV interviews have changed. She's not talking about really running for president. She's not talking about Trump. She's talking about what? Bombing Iran. She's on every interview she does, it's about the United States starting the Third World War. Now, courtesy of Vivek Ramaswamy, who outed her publicly, we know she makes her living, from the military-industrial complex. And Nikki Haley is part of the television infomercial going on in the news of promoting the starting World War III. And I think there's again, we won't know until after, but there's a very good chance, even when she's humiliated with a massive Trump victory in her home state of South Carolina, that she'll continue on. And the reason that she may continue on, because these big money backers of hers, she may find some new donors in the military-industrial complex to keep her campaign going, because they want her on television promoting World War III with Iran. And if you notice, Ron DeSantis dropped out. When's the last time you saw him on TV? Yeah, exactly. He was trying to get on TV yesterday over the Ilhan Omar thing, and that kind of fizzled out. So once she's not running for president anymore, Nikki Haley, the television interviews will drop dramatically to almost zero real quick, and then after a week or two, you're not going to see her. So the military-industrial complex may keep her pathetic campaign going after South Carolina so she can promote war on television, all right? But she's not a viable campaign. It's a joke. She's a joke. And it's Trump. And it's Trump versus Joe Biden. And, everything is decided by the Electoral College, not the popular vote. Many presidents have not won the popular vote. Abraham Lincoln did not win the popular vote. Bill Clinton did not win the popular vote. There's been others. It's not unusual for winners not to win the popular vote, right? Because we have the Electoral College system. And I know it's a very controversial thing, and not everyone likes the Electoral College, but that's the system we have. And this is an amazing thing. I was going through the polls, and then I went back and looked something up. That was an article on NBC News that's 3 years old, and it's about the last election when they counted up the Electoral College votes. And let me pull this up. This is pretty interesting. Okay, Biden. They keep talking about the popular vote. Well, whatever. Popular vote doesn't matter. But Biden. It was close. In the official counts, only won by 42,844 votes that he got in Wisconsin, Georgia, and Arizona. Okay, Wisconsin, Georgia, and Arizona. And I haven't checked Wisconsin, but Biden has lost Georgia already. In fact, a few months ago, I reported right here, the entire Biden campaign and the DNC pulled out of Georgia because the polls made it hopeless in Georgia, all right? And yeah, that's true. And what's going on with Fani Willis is making Trump even more popular in Georgia. So he's lost Georgia. All the news and polls out of Kari Lake's race for the Senate in Arizona show she's doing incredibly well and is projected to be the winner in Arizona, especially after this bribe attempt. So 2 of the states that gave Biden the electoral victory are gone right there. And there'll be some others that fall off the list. We're in a situation where we may see something we've never seen in any of our adult lifetimes, unless you're really old. We may see a situation where Donald Trump gets 400 electoral votes. You only need, 270? I'm serious. things are going that well for us. I'm going to go through some of the polls in a little bit. But, yeah, I mean, we can't get overconfident. Remember, we got to run like we're 60 points behind, not 60 points ahead. But this election is over. We got to keep the momentum going, though. We don't want people to get, lose momentum before November. But things are going well. I'll go over some of the polls in a little bit. We're going to take our first break. If you'd like to call in, please do. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. I'm Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines.
All right. Okay, where am I? All right.
Therapy programs have helped so many people get back to feeling the way they did in their 20s. They're full of energy after a long day, reduced their risk of heart disease, sexual vigor and excitement are great, sleeping the way they should without disturbances, and reducing their symptoms of aging. Our all-natural hormone optimization therapy is precise, easy, and effective from day one. Office visits are usually less than 5 times per year, and the cost is only $150 per month for most patients. Let our medical team get you optimized and living your best life. Our family medical practice has been serving South Florida for over 71 years. Let us show you what personalized medical care and being treated like family feels like. Call us at 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642. Or visit us at lighthousemedicalcenter.com to schedule your consultation today.
Come see what all the talk is about. Treasure Coast Hidden Gem in Home Sound. It's the Grove Cuisine and Wine. With exceptional food, service, hospitality, and solid days. Now serving dinner with classic cocktails. Featured on the award-winning PBS show, Check Please. And 4 years in a row receiving the Wine Spectator Award of Excellence. Recently called a trifecta of great food, service, and atmosphere by the TC Mom. Quality food, a pleasant atmosphere, and exceptional service is the magic sauce that defines the Grove Cuisine and Wine in Home Sound. In the Winn-Dixie Marketplace, corner of US 1 and Blue Road. To make a reservation, go online, thegrovehomesouth.com, or call 774-420-5410.
On 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at True Oldies.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. Big reminder, the Thomas Edison of sleep, the inventor of the MyPillow, Mike Lindell, who's actually part of the discussion to remove Ronna McDaniel from heading up the RNC. Did you see this yesterday? And you got to wonder, they're even, he probably won't get it, but he is on the short list, Mike Lindell, to head up the RNC. But he's part of the team removing Ronna McDaniel, Romney's niece, right? You think there's any connection between Fox News banning MyPillow advertisement and Mike Lindell being one of the leaders in removing Ronna McDaniel as heading the RNC? Probably a big connection. Probably all about it, quite frankly. But Mike Lindell, banned by Walmart, Kohl's, so many other stores, and now Fox News Channel. This is a big blow to MyPillow. You know, Mike Lindell, when all this canceling began, he vowed to his employees he would not lay anyone off. And, you know, through all of it, he has not. And he is offering to our listeners free shipping on all MyPillow products with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. Free shipping on everything, no matter how small or how large. And on top of that, you get whatever the special deal is, too, like the MyPillow 2.0 with temperature-regulating technology is 50% off. So if you order that with our promo code KANE, you get 50% off, and you get free shipping. The mattress topper 2.0, 40% off. So you get the mattress topper, 40% off plus free shipping with our promo code KANE. And that's on every item at MyPillow.com. Free shipping and the special deal with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. You can also order by phone toll-free, 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879. And that free shipping can add up to a lot of savings, huge savings, especially on some of the bigger items. All right, yeah, so if you're on hold, hang in there. So the polls, Trump is, I'm not even going over the Nikki Haley polls. I'm talking about the general election. The general election nationwide, Trump is ahead in every poll. And a bunch of new polls came out yesterday, and I noticed they're starting to do some things, right? They're in the general election, they're starting to add in Kennedy and Kanye West, and some of them even have Stein in there. So they're trying to put in other people because there's a lot of people, and this is a test of the pollsters. They're doing a test. And what they're doing is seeing if anything can get Trump a negative number. And they haven't been able to find any national polling that gives Trump anything other than a win. Every new poll, no matter how many ways they split it, he's winning. If they have 3 Democrats in there or 1 Democrat, Trump wins. And it's absolutely amazing. You know, the Real Clear Politics average has him about 3.3 ahead when you average in all the polls. I mean, this is a great time, people. All right, our number toll free 1-888-GO-KANE-1. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Mark.
Oh, hey, Mark.
Thanks for the great news.
Oh, yeah.
I saw the thumbnail of Trump's 400 electoral votes.
Mm-hmm. On my YouTube video.
And then your information about MAGA people showed up for a Biden thing and he didn't have one person.
No, there was a tourist who was not there for Biden that wasn't MAGA, but other than that, it was all MAGA people.
That made me smile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it should.
I had a vision after you talked about the one at that Biden event. That would be awesome if MAGA people didn't wear any Trump gear and they started crashing all of Biden's events.
Oh, yeah. Well, the events he doesn't really do uncontrolled events. I mean, the thing he did yesterday here in Florida were big money Democrat fundraisers, very private fundraisers where you have to dole out just a ton of money to even get in the door. So he wasn't meeting with regular people like Trump does all the time.
That'd be great if they did that, but it's kind of funny there wasn't any reporters standing in those circles.
No, and you know, Biden said yesterday when he was talking at this fundraiser that the Democrats he thinks can win Florida. I mean, is he that delusional, or was he just trying to tell them what he thought they might want to hear? I don't know.
But, you know, that's the one thing I see in a lot of different news reports, that little by little bits of blue are converting over to the red.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm praying for, because
oh, yeah.
And all at once, it's little bits at a time.
Well, all right, yeah. Hey, Mark, it's good to hear from you. Thanks so much. Yeah, and, you know, Biden... You know, there was another poll out I saw of support for Texas, protecting the southern border down there in Texas. The polls are strongly in favor of it, double digits in favor. And Biden's out there trying to tear down, literally, the razor wire, a wall that is there to protect the border. He's on the wrong side of every issue. So there's no recovering for Biden and the Democrats from this. And, you know, this southern border issue, Biden's going to lose it. I mean, what is a state supposed to do? If your state is being overrun, it's being overrun by criminals. Remember, every one of these people, as soon as they step into the United States, have broken the law. They're criminals. That's why they're called illegals. It is illegal what they're doing, so that makes them criminals. And when you have a group like that coming into the country or coming into your state, there's all kinds of problems. The drugs, the crime, the free health care they're coming here for that they have no intention on ever paying for in our emergency rooms. It's a major burden on a state. We had something on a much smaller scale with the Mario boat lift in Miami. That had devastating impacts on Miami that are still felt today. But yeah, go watch Scarface. You get a little behind the scenes of that. I was just a kid, but I remember the Mario boat lift very well. But when a state has that kind of illegal immigration into it with really undesirable people for all kinds of reasons, you know, what is a governor supposed to do? Because you've got a president who says they can all come here, a governor is supposed to allow the people of his state to be victimized? Are you kidding me? I don't understand that. I don't know where that thinking comes from. And by the way, a state does have the right to protect themselves. So what Greg Abbott is doing there is, without question, not only the right thing to do, but the legal thing to do. And Joe Biden, even though every poll, and if you go to the primary states, the number one issue every primary voter I've seen interviewed that had them vote Trump was the border. So, you know, when your state is being overrun by people like this, and the U.S. government is not only not doing anything to stop it, but actively working to increase the damage to your state like this, what's Abbott supposed to do? Just sit there in his wheelchair and not respond? Of course not. And that's why I think Greg Abbott's at the top of Trump's VP list. If not VP list, he'll have Mayorkas's job in Trump's second and non-consecutive term, because the border is, of course, his area of expertise. But, you know, governors are there to protect their own states, too. And each one of our states have a constitution. And Texas, you know, Texas got a couple things going on that a lot of other states don't. One, it's a border state. There are other border states, but not very many states have a border with Mexico that are being overrun. And Texas has kind of a different kind of culture than the other states, because even though it was a long time ago, Texas was its own country, the Republic of Texas. And they did become a part of the United States, obviously. But Texas, because through the entire life of Texas, they've been dealing with invasions from Mexico, starting with the War of Texan Independence, right? Until now, the invasions from Mexico have been nonstop throughout the entire history of Texas. So they got that they've lived with all their lives throughout the generations of every Texian. And then the other thing is, because they were their own country long ago, there's a feeling of sovereignty that has Texans feel like it's their own. I didn't make a mistake when I said Texian. Okay, that's what citizens of the Republic of Texas called themselves, Texians, not Texans, Texians. That's true. But that feeling of a nation that they have is another reason why they pick things up and defend themselves during this continuous invasion that Texas has been suffering, even from the time of, you know, the Texan War of Independence. It's been nonstop. So, you know, they're fed up and they're sickened by it. So they're going to do the right thing regardless of what Biden says, and it's going to hurt Biden in the polls nationwide. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our bottom of the hour break. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 1-888-465-2631. Back after this.
Making morning radio great again.
That's right. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. All right, where do I...
Hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning.
Where am I going here?
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County.
Well, guys,
PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
all right. Oh, yes. You know, most of my show prep, not all of it, but most of my show prep is on my Twitter. So if you follow me on Twitter, Brian Craig Show on Twitter, you'll get about 85 to 90% of my show prep. The articles I read, not all of them, but most every single one of them I tweet. And that's where I have my show prep, Brian Craig Show on Twitter.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
But I don't post everything there.
11th in the Paddock Restaurant at PBKC with a delicious $30 all-you-can-eat buffet, great drink specials, also big prizes including tickets to your favorite team's regular season game next season, and all the super action on over 140
Let's see.
TVs. The Paddock is your perfect spot to catch all the OTB and sports action. For tickets and info, go to BBKennelClub.com.
This Kia statewide sales event will be held only at one location, City Kia of Greater Orlando, just off the Florida Turnpike. Drive a little, save a lot.
Oh, we just lost the phones, Mike. We just lost the phones.
Start this new year in a new City Kia.
I had a full board of calls, and the phones just went out. So if you were on hold, you may have to call back. Yeah, it says not connected.
Select new City Kias. Get up to $5,000 over KBB fair market value for your trade.
I hope it didn't hang up on everyone. I had a full board of calls.
Forte from only $119 a month. And remember, City Kia delivers vehicles.
The phones are done through the internet, so...
This Kia statewide sales event will be held only at one location, City Kia of Greater Orlando, just off the Florida Turnpike. Drive a little, save
What's that?
Nobody beats a City Kia deal. Nobody.
Okay, they just came back.
Is where the magic lives. Visit
Hopefully it stays that way. Hopefully it was just a little...
Yeah, what happened?
I don't know.
Okay.
When I went to check the phone connection, one was blinking, so I'm assuming
Okay.
it was just having a little surge.
Okay.
So if that happens again, I'm going to reset it.
Okay. Yeah, if you were on hold and you're not on hold now, call back because it cleared out the board. The phones are done through the internet, and sometimes, you know, there's internet connectivity issues. I don't know. It's aggravating. All right, where am I? Yeah, they're back now, so if you want to call back, you can.
Actually, I just got kicked off the TV viewer for a second, too, so I think it was the internet.
Yeah, I saw this click, a minute ago over here. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, a
so
few
that's-
minutes ago.
Monday through Saturday, appointments not necessary, and walk-ins are welcome. 954-973-0710. Brian Craig with a question for seniors and those who care about them. How would you like to have instant access to a healthcare advocate at the touch of a button? Would that make life easier for you? You can with
Oh my gosh. That is so freaking aggravating. We'll be back after this.
With a homeowners association and your roof is old or compromised, you need to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting. With a AAA credit rating and bonded up to $10 million, Laporta Contracting doesn't need a large deposit.
Oh my goodness.
Contractors want are 1/3 of the contract. If your job is $30,000, that's a $10,000 deposit. If your job is $300,000, that's $100,000.
I've had so much water today. We'll be back in 45 seconds.
Materials, they don't have credit with the suppliers, and that spells bad news for the homeowner or HOA. Tom Laporta is honest, knowledgeable, and reliable, and he'll never sell you a roof you don't need. Laporta Contracting has been in the roofing and
Since I started drinking water again and have gotten hydrated, I feel so much better. Oh my goodness. I stopped drinking. I went like a few weeks without drinking anything but coffee, little Pepsi here and there, and was not feeling well. When you don't drink water, you stop getting thirsty, so it's hard to get that routine back.
954-604-4602 and online. LaportaContracting.com.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 47 years on the air.
That's right, 37 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian, it's the Steve Kane Show. All right, let's see if they're working, Mike. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Oh, hey, Mike, what's up?
You know, you talked about Biden coming to Florida to do that fundraiser, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what does he understand about the dynamics of Florida now? Correct me if I'm wrong, Brian. Didn't Trump help flip Miami-Dade?
Yeah, well, this is what's going on, okay? And it's January. And he came to Palm Beach, in particular Jupiter, and this is where this time of year is when all the rich people from up north come to Florida. We call them snowbirds. They're only here. They come after New Year's. It's the snowbirds. So all the big money New Yorkers, right? You know, and they're down here in Palm Beach right now. So he had to fly down here to talk to the New Yorkers to get their money. So these are not Floridians that were at that fundraiser. They're snowbirds. Snowbirds are not Floridians, exactly. Yeah, they stay down here long enough so they don't have to pay the New York taxes and such, but they're not really Floridians.
Right, and that's the thing. But this is a guy that just doesn't understand. These people that surround him just don't understand. He's not going to win Florida.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's not gonna win America either. That's right. Hey, it's good to hear from you, Mike. Your speaker, though, from Louisiana needs to get his act together. Now, I want to tell you, I had to buy a new TV, which really pains me. I really did not want to buy a new TV, and the picture finally went out on my TV in my living room, so I had to buy a new TV, and we got it from Best Buy, and it's being delivered today. And when I get off the air, I've got to jump in my car and speed home at the speed limit, of course, all the way home to my house as soon as possible. But we bought, the TV won't fit in my Kia. I have one of my cars is a Kia. It's too big for the Kia, and I wanted to pick it up in person. So I went to Lowe's and Home Depot to rent a truck, and that $19.99 on the side of the truck for 75 minutes. That's a lie, okay? That's a lie. I couldn't believe how much it was. So I had it delivered, and it's being delivered today, and I forgot about something. And some of you here in South Florida will remember this. Do you remember the Best Buy delivery truck murderer? Do you remember that, Mike? Oh, my goodness. Yeah, this was in 2019. The Best Buy in Boca, which is where my TV is coming from, and because of this, my wife, you cannot allow your wife to be home alone when you have delivery coming for anything, okay? But two delivery drivers in 2019 from the Boca Best Buy, the one on 441 and Glades Road, that's where my TV's coming from, they murdered, one of them murdered a woman violently when they were doing a delivery at her house. And I pulled this article up. He was convicted of the murder, but this what had happened. Let me pull up the story on this. See if it's got the. Let me read through the story. This is a story after his conviction. The murder happened in 2019, but he wasn't convicted until like a year ago. It took a long time to get a conviction. I guess probably they blame COVID. His name was Jorge Dupre Lacazo. Killed her. He said, "Kill her now," as he was installing a dryer inside of the home of Evelyn Smith's Udell's laundry room in Boca. "Kill her now or else." He said voices told him to do it. Okay. His lawyers tried to keep his statements saying that the voices told him to kill her, which he gave to the Boca police. They tried to get them out of the trial. His fingerprints were on the mallet that he used to beat this 9-old lady to death by hitting her in the head with the mallet. Then he took a can of acetone and lit her body on fire. This is while he was delivering a dryer. There was another delivery man. He was in the truck while this guy was in the laundry room or garage killing this woman. This was in 2019, and I remember they shut down the store for a day or so, and it's open, and my TV is coming from that Best Buy today. So you cannot have your wives home alone when they get deliveries from anywhere, not just Best Buy, but anywhere. You don't know who these people are. And in this particular instance, they subcontract a lot of this out. I think this guy was a subcontractor, didn't work for directly for Best Buy. And it's very dangerous. We used to have a guy on the show who was just with just a sad organization. There's an organization called Parents of Murdered Children. Parents of Murdered Children. And the guy that ran the local chapter of it, his daughter, who was like 14 or 15, was murdered by the carpet cleaners. They came to the house to clean the carpet, and they scheduled it. They didn't think anything of it, and, the carpet cleaners killed their 14, 15-year-old daughter, and I'm sure they did other things other than just kill her. You know how that goes. I mean, it's just a sad thing. So when you have deliveries coming, don't leave your wives home alone, guys. It is not safe, okay? Do not leave your wives home alone. So we got 3 people on standby at my house until I get there. And then I don't know if everyone's going to stay or not. And it's just, it's how you got to be. It's how you got to be. All right, our number 1, 888-GO-KANE-1. That was a tragedy in Boca, though. And let me tell you, that was a god-awful thing. And I was in shock because I have bought pretty much any electronic device. My washers, dryers, everything have come from that place. And I don't let delivery men or things into. I don't bring anybody to the house unless it's absolutely necessary. So, like, if I get home in time before they get here, I'm going to have them leave the TV out front, right? And then I'll bring it in, right? I don't even like people to come into the house and scope it out. I don't trust anyone that works for any company delivering anything. And that goes for DoorDash and all that other stuff, too. Anytime we order DoorDash or Instacart, we have them leave everything on our front porch. Never let them see the inside of your house. It's just, you got to be careful. It's Biden's America, people. All right? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Ben. How you doing?
Hey, Ben. What's up?
I had a question for you, and I don't know if you've addressed this or not, but what do you think about the idea that a lot of people are freaking out about Michelle Obama being nominated at the last minute?
I don't think much of it. I think people talk about this all the time, and I don't think much of it. My standard answer that I always give is Michelle's never had a job in her entire life. All of a sudden, she's going to have one. That's one part of it. Another thing is that would involve Joe Biden and Jill Biden deciding not to run, which she's already doing. That's why he was here yesterday. They're not going to walk away from that power willingly. If they lose, they lose, but they're not going to decide just to walk away from it. And the other thing is, Trump is so overwhelmingly popular in the polls. Why would Michelle Obama want to be a loser? She's part of a 2-term team now. She'll be forever a loser if she were to go up against Trump.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. Jill and Joe wouldn't stop by, by their own, on their own volition, but they could be forced or kind of pushed out.
No, they're not going to push. They're not going to be pushed out. They're not going to push out. And I'll tell you another thing too. Who's the only people I hear talking about it? Oh, please.
Plenty of Democrats have said, yeah, he shouldn't run, and it's
James Carville is a retired has-been. He's not in the loop anymore. And the thing about
many examples.
Yeah, well, the thing about Michelle Obama, most people don't know this because you really haven't seen her in her own self-speaking, okay? She is a very arrogant, self-centered, unlikable person. I'll give you an example. 2 examples of her when you got to see how she really is. Remember that oil well explosion, the Deepwater Horizon oil well in the Gulf of Mexico where it killed all those guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was owned by BP. Yeah, that BP oil rig fire, and people were killed, and it was god-awful. She gave a speech right after that, and she was wearing this white dress that had these black splotches on it that looked like oil drops. And she didn't care. I mean, she was very strange. But I saw her once in her true personality in a way I've never seen her before. When she was First Lady, Michelle Obama was on The Biggest Loser. Remember that show, The Biggest Loser, where all the people are trying to lose weight? Remember that show? She was on that, and all the contestants got to work out with Michelle Obama. And she was throughout the episode. And Michelle Obama, when they were working out, she got tired and stopped. And she said, "Can someone get the First Lady a towel? The First Lady's hot and sweaty, and the First Lady needs a towel. Can someone get the First Lady a towel?" When someone is talking about themselves like that in front of TV cameras or in front of a group of people and it's going to go on network television, you're not in touch with reality. Michelle Obama gets out there on the campaign trail. People are going to be shocked at what a nasty woman she is. You've never really heard her speak.
Yeah, well, I think that she is such a darling of the media. I think they would absolutely fawn over her. It really doesn't matter. They would make her into the perfect candidate through pure illusion, just like Hillary won the podcast.
Hillary was another thing, okay? Her husband, she ran for the Senate the first time in New York when her husband was still president. He pardoned those Puerto Rican terrorists to get the Puerto Rican vote in New York. Remember that? And then he pardoned, by the way, Puerto Rican terrorists who were part of an insurrection against the government because they were terrorists for Puerto Rican independence from America, right? So he pardoned Puerto Rican terrorist insurrectionists to get her the Puerto Rican vote in New York. Then he pardoned the Hasidic Jews, remember, that were doing some long stretches for something to get the Hasidic Jewish vote, and she got elected. And she had, though, because of that, she had Senate experience, okay, and on top of and when she was First Lady, she spent a lot of time as First Lady, in particular her last year, doing foreign policy work for her husband on tours around the world. Michelle Obama's done nothing. She has no resume. And she's a lot. Yeah.
Democrats aren't rational. I mean, honestly, I think they would vote. Like, they voted for John Fetterman, and his only experience was like, a mayor of a bumpkin town with 700 people. Democrats will literally just vote for people through feelings.
She's not going to do it. She's not going to do it. Michelle doesn't even want to do it.
I thought she sent out a survey seeing what would the response be.
I don't think she sent out a survey. Maybe people sent out a survey. I don't think she did. No.
I heard she was sending out feelers and talking with donors.
People, no.
Idea
no. That's people floating that idea around. But no, she's not. And I'll tell you, there's no doubt that Barack and Michelle live separate lives. They totally live separate lives. They each have lovers, I'm sure. right? And she's been retired on a vacation with whoever her lover is, or lovers, I don't know, for years. And no, it's not going to happen. I don't know. And the only people that really talk about it, for the most part, with rare exceptions, are Republicans, MAGA people, for some reason.
Yeah, well, that's because I think it would be an absolute nightmare, and they're freaking out about it. Bill O'Reilly, Dan Benino, have just brought it up.
Okay, I'll tell you this. Okay, I'll tell you. Charlie Kirk's brought it. I like Charlie Kirk, but no, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But I'll tell you what happens a lot of times with a lot of people that do shows. Okay, some days there's just a ton of massive news stories to talk about that you're excited about. Some days there's not, and a lot of times when I don't do this because I've got better training and experience and talent than some of these others, even though I like Bongino and I like Charlie Kirk a lot. But when the news and Bill O'Reilly's sucking up to get an interview, that's a lot of what he does. But when they don't have a story that jazzes them up for their show, there's some things that a lot of hosts go to get through a show. And Michelle Obama running instead of Biden, that's one of those things that people bring up when it's a slow news day to get through a show with something that'll light up the phones and get conversation going. It's just, I could do that. I could probably sit here for the next 2 hours and 8 minutes and get calls on Michelle Obama, but I'm not going to do it. It's stupid.
Well, I disagree, but when the time comes, and if it comes,
then you can say you were right and I was wrong, and life will go on.
But it will be something to examine.
Think about it. I want you to think about it. Okay. Yesterday, the presidential motorcade was here. Did you ever see? Are you here in South Florida? Where are you located? Pompano. Okay. I'm sorry, I forgot. Okay, at the beginning of the call. Did you ever see President Trump's motorcade when he was in his first term here in person?
In person, no.
Okay. The presidential motorcade, and this is not an exaggeration, is a mile long at least, maybe longer. The ceremony that goes along with being president, the power, the peddling for influence that this jerk Biden's doing and everything, they're not going to walk away from it. Joe and Jill have been doing crime and all kinds of things that we don't even want to know about. It's probably so disgusting for 50 years. And all of a sudden, they're just going to not run for re-election for president? It's not going to happen. They're not going to walk away from it.
I know, but, they push Bernie out. They push anyone out of the way.
Bernie wasn't president.
I know, but it was...
Listen, I'm like 6 minutes late for the break, so I got to run. But I appreciate the call. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Hey, check your phone. Someone's on your doorstep and is trying to look for a way into your home. If no one is monitoring your home, then you need to call Sloman's now. Sloman's is giving you a free $1,500 valued home security system with professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. Call 833-283-5050 and learn more about this incredible limited-time total home security package. You're getting an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 10 entry points, a lifetime service plan, professional installation, and battery backup. Call 833-283-5050 and you'll also get a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. That's 833-283-5050. Sloman's. The difference is human.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
It's cataract surgery season. Middleman Eye Center is offering the next level experience in IV-free cataract surgery. New technology, new lenses, and a new office-based surgery experience awaits you. Contact Middleman Eye Center. Call or text 561-500-2020 or visit us on the web at middlemaneye.com to to schedule or for more information.
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Lisa, and my husband and I received our My Pillow 2.0 that we ordered with Kane the other day. The buy one get one free, and they're our first My Pillows, and we love them. We absolutely love them. They're just absolutely marvelous. Yeah, I'm so glad. I got slippers on the way too.
Go to mypillow.com and use our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, and buy your My Pillow 2.0. Right now, buy one, get one free. You can also order by phone, toll free, 800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is...
All right, callers on hold, stand by. I want to apologize to the audience. I took that last break so late. I was talking to the guy about Michelle, that this is going to be a very short segment. And I apologize for that. And we have a break schedule so that we don't have short segments like this, you know what I mean? So it's not break on top. But if you take a break late and it's too late, it's like a traffic jam. And the break at the top, I got to take, it's a hard break. So I will be in a very short segment here. My apologies. It's my fault. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
And then last night I had spent some time watching this impeachment of Mayorkas. My, I don't know how anybody wants to be in Congress. I'm so sick of these people being so nice to each other. You know, I don't want them to be like in England and start throwing punches. And it'll be nice to see somebody. Say, "Would you stop the lies?" The Democrats, whatever you say, they say. Yeah.
Well, the thing with Mayorkas, he's not going to be removed because the Senate's not going to remove him. But it's important to get these impeachments going because, the impeachment. Let me tell you why it's important. This is more than symbolic. Okay. It will involve a process because step one is this committee, and then it's got to go to another committee, and then there's the floor talk. So what'll happen is there'll be a lot of media coverage that we otherwise would not get, not just of the problem at the border. We're going to get this very strange-looking person, Mayorkas, who looks insane. We're going to hear from him on television in these hearings a lot, telling the American people that the border is secure, even though millions are running across all the time. And since the border is the number one reason that's driving voters to vote against anyone other than Trump, it's going to help us. So it sounds good to me.
Yeah, well, this is amazing how, like I said, how these people are so cordial to each other. I don't get it. I could never be in that.
Well, what do you want them to do? Start dropping F-bombs at each other? I mean, what do they? What do you want them to do?
Well, at least get out and say, "Would you stop the lies, man? You know what you're saying is 100% incorrect." At least something like that. Instead, they just say, "Well."
Well, what I would do if I were a member of these committees, and is I would have people from my state or district who have lost people because they were killed by illegals, and I'd have the place filled, the audience filled. And I would be referencing them throughout while Mayorkas sat there so the people could see it. That's what I would do.
I hope they do something like that, but I don't think it's going to even get going past these committees. I think the Democrats are pushing something.
He'll get impeached in the House, but the Senate is not going to be removed. But yeah, I agree with you. They shouldn't be so polite. All right, we got to run. Like I told you guys, it's going to be a short segment, and we'll get back on track after our top of the hour break. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. I'm going to jump into some new issues when we get back from the break, but you're welcome to call in about anything I've brought up so far, even Michelle, although I don't want to do a whole Michelle. Doing a show on Michelle running is like the marijuana legalization shows. You get all the stoners calling up. It's a similar thing when you talk about Michelle. All right, we're going to take our break for the top of the hour. We'll be back with more of your calls and a lot more than that after this.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown.
All right, I'll be right back, guys. Gotta make it to the men's room. Be right back. All right, I made it back.
Elvis Valentine's Day event, February 14th. For tickets and info, go to PBCattleflog.com.
Hey, check your phone. Someone's on your doorstep and is trying to look for a way into your home. If no one is monitoring your home, then you need to call Sloman's now. Sloman's is giving you a free, $1,500 value home security.
All right, if you're new, make sure you subscribe, guys. This is where MAGA comes to talk. No doubt about it.
And learn more about this incredible limited-time total home security package. You're getting an LED touchscreen keypad, a motion detector, 10 entry points, a lifetime service plan, professional installation, and backup battery. Call 1-833-283-5050, and you'll also get a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. That's 1-833-283-5050. Sloman's, the difference is human. Alexa, what's the longest-running radio show in the state of Florida?
The Steve Kane Show, which has been on the air since 1977, is the longest-running radio show in Florida.
The Steve Kane Show, weekday mornings, right here on True Oldies.
Gosh darn it. Wow. Wow. You're going to like this story that I'm going to lead with when we get back. All right, you guys are going to love this, okay? I've got the latest, it just arrived in my inbox. I have the latest swing state polls, all the swing states. And I mean, I'm not, obviously, you hear the excitement in my voice. President Trump is leading in every swing state. If you're on hold, stand by. This is the latest swing state poll from Bloomberg and Morning Consult, all right? You hear it referred to mostly as the Morning Consult poll. Wisconsin, Trump 49, Biden 44. Wisconsin, that gives Trump a 5-point lead. And didn't Biden win Wisconsin last time? I can't remember. I got to check on that. Pennsylvania, Trump 48, Biden 45. Trump a 3-point lead in Pennsylvania. Nevada, Trump 48, Biden 40. Trump has an 8-point lead in Nevada. Georgia, another state that Biden got last time, right? Trump at 49, Biden 41. Trump with an 8-point lead in Georgia. Michigan, that's more Democrat country. Trump 47, Biden 42. Trump with a 5-point lead. North Carolina, Trump 49, Biden 39. Trump leading by 10. Arizona is another place Biden took. Arizona, Trump 47, Biden 44. Trump leads by 3. Now, this poll, this Morning Consult Bloomberg poll, it's even better for Trump than the poll results show, and I'll share with you why. They polled, it's a scientific poll, they polled 4,956, which is an unusually large sample, but they polled registered voters, okay, not likely voters. Whenever they poll, they have 3 types. They have likely voters, registered voters, and Americans. The one that's most scientifically accurate is registered voters. Likely voters. Likely voters are voters that are registered to vote, have voted in the past 2 elections, and tell the pollster they plan on voting in the next one. Registered voters, they may never have voted in their life, okay? Americans, they may not even be registered to vote. So this poll is oversampling Democrats because of the sample they used. And even in a poll that is oversampling Democrats, Trump is now leading in an oversampled Democrat poll in all the battleground swing states and in many states that Biden got the Electoral College votes for last time. So this is what I'm talking about, where Trump getting 400 electoral votes, it could be that bad. It could be that bad. And, as we get through the time zones and we get early results on the East Coast, that's why there were places in play that typically are not in place. This is all great news. Now, I want to run this by you because I don't know how I feel about this. I am not a big fan of Vivek Ramaswamy. I don't mind Vivek Ramaswamy telling people that like him to vote for Trump. Anybody out there that's praising Trump and encourages anyone to vote for Trump, I support anyone doing that, okay? Okay, if it's going to help him get back to the White House. Well, I wouldn't say I don't want David Duke or someone doing it, but I don't mind Vivek Ramaswamy. I mean, even DeSantis. I don't know if he has any support, but if he got some people that so whatever someone does to help Trump in this election cycle is a good thing. But today, this talk may start to begin in the news cycle today. I've seen some of it on social media. Ronna McDaniel's about to be pushed out of the head leading the RNC, or at least there's a move to unseat her. Now, it very well could happen. Laura Loomer says it is going to happen. She could make some deal. These are some big money people. You never know. But there's talk of serious talk that they're trying. That's on social media. They're trying to get a feel from it. Of Vivek Ramaswamy becoming the chair of the Republican National Committee, the RNC. What would be your thoughts on that? I'm not crazy about it. I typically don't worry who runs the RNC, but I've told you guys, you can go from leading the RNC to be president. Wasn't H.W. Bush, Bush 41, wasn't he the head of the RNC at one point? That seems familiar with me. And there have been governors and members of Congress that have headed up the RNC. And people that head the RNC end up being White House chiefs of staff and secretaries of things too. So it is definitely a path to office, powerful offices. And while I don't mind Ramaswamy out there telling his young groupies to vote for Trump, which is a good thing, okay, I don't know if I trust him to head up the RNC. And I still stick by what I've said for months, that he's got the Soros connections, and I believe there's a very good chance. I mean, we don't know 100%, okay? I mean, he says all the right things and all this stuff. But there is a possibility that's more than slight. I think this is not a slight possibility. I think there's a strong possibility that Vivek Ramaswamy is George Soros's team trying to infiltrate the MAGA movement, right? They've already taken over law enforcement and prosecutors and everything. They've already taken over the entire Democrat Party. Soros' son has been to the Biden White House how many times? A lot. And so the Soros organization has gotten their tentacles in all aspects of anything that's controlled by Democrats, from the White House to local law enforcement, right? So now they're moving on. What else can they take over? And Vivek Ramaswamy, there is a high likelihood that he's a Soros plant, kind of like a sleeper agent, to infiltrate the MAGA movement. And we've got to be very careful about that. We've got a lot of rhinos, Republicans in name only. We don't want that same thing to happen to our MAGA movement. So, if he becomes head of the RNC, it'll happen. I mean, there's nothing that you and I can do to stop that. Although, I mean, they're also talking about Mike Lindell. I don't think they would let Mike Lindell. And McDaniel may save herself. You know, these things are all about money and donors at that level. At that job in particular, the head of the RNC, their main job is fundraising. Right? They get that job because they have the connections to the big money people. So she may survive and have the job. But I'm curious your thoughts on Ramaswamy getting it. I think long term it could do us some damage. This year it could help us, but beyond this year it could be very damaging. All right, our number toll free 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oregon, Claremont.
Mm-hmm.
Of all those states you mentioned, how many of those? What were the before the 2020?
I don't have them. I don't have 4-year-old polls. Do you?
No, but
oh no, but and who cares what happens 4 years ago? I mean, what were people wearing 4 years ago? I mean, you know, you go back in time. I used to wear parachute pants. You know, you probably never did because it doesn't sound like you were ever cool. But yeah,
little piece of crap.
Wait a second. What is insecure? I'm curious. You say I'm an insecure piece of crap because I wore parachute pants when they were a fad. What are you suggesting? Oh, he hung up. I wanted to find out what my insecurities were. I'm very, I don't mind a little therapy. You callers can, if you're out there listening, you want to put me through some therapy, I don't mind. I did not hang up on him. He hung up on me. But did you hear how he was triggered? And what triggered him? The polls. It doesn't matter what the polls were 4 years ago or 40 years ago. It matters what they are now. Because the polls are based on what our country is facing today. Not what we were facing 4 years ago or 40 years ago. All right? All right, I'm curious if what are my insecurities? I don't know. Well, I guess I'll never know. All right. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE1 is a toll-free call no matter where you're listening. 1-888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
At least he tried. I got to give him that. He tried.
No one better than Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. But don't just take my word for it. This is Richie the bus driver. He called in on the air to share his experience with Dr. Gupta. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie. Dr. Gupta. I go 139 miles to this guy. I had a broken tooth. He fixed it. It was supposed to be temporary. It lasted 2 years. He put dentures in my mouth that are a lot cheaper than anybody else. And he's excellent and no pain. I recommend this guy. To me, he's the best ever. So I want to get that out of the way.
Listen to Richie the bus driver. Go see Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, guys. I live stream 7 days a week. And I'm always taking live calls like I'm doing now. On the weekends, I'm on the radio now. But on the weekends, I live stream from my studio at my home, and I take calls there. It's a little different than this. And a lot of people tell me they like the weekend streaming better than the weekday streaming. I enjoy it too. But this is most definitely the most pro-Donald Trump MAGA place you'll find anywhere. I promise you that. That guy was so triggered by the battleground polls. You hear that?
Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at True Oldies FLA.
All right, we're back. Yeah, I was just remembering parachute. Hey, you guys, am I the only one that wore parachute pants? You know, the thing about parachute pants, when you walked, they rubbed to get the material, you know, your legs would rub against, you know, one leg against the other, and it would make this everywhere you walked because of the parachute material. And I remember this one guy I went to school with. This was in middle school. He wore parachute pants during the winter, which, of course, here in Florida, you know, the winter, it was, I don't know, 55 degrees or something. And he wore sweatpants and wore the parachute pants over the sweatpants. I remember that to school. It was very strange. But they were hip at the time. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, this is Steve. I'm calling from Indiana.
Hey, Indiana. What's up?
I was listening to you a little bit, and RNC Ramaswamy, no, I give him a thumbs down on that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that anybody is involved with anything to do with Soros, and besides, RNC is a kind of a payout from my point of view. 50 years. It's sort of a payout organization, and you got to be able to work for somebody that you don't want to work for, and so I think Ramaswamy should.
Well, you know, here's the thing. Any this is just my opinion. Okay, it's better to be safe than sorry. Any connection, no matter how minor, to George Soros, you're out. It's like it's like doing porn is how I describe it. Once someone does porn, that's it. You're tainted with that. Any connection, no matter how small, to George Soros, you're out.
Yeah, I believe the same way. I think that that's a RNC is a. I'll buy in if you do this.
Well, and the thing about the RNC, their primary function is fundraising, and then they decide how that money's spent. And there's more to it, but those are the big things. Ramaswamy, because he's a billionaire, you know, and with those Soros people, they could get fundraising for the RNC could increase significantly under Ramaswamy because the Soros organization would want to keep him there. No, I think it's very dangerous to let him in a position of power.
Yeah, that's true. And as far as the parachute pants goes, I got into those just temporarily, and I go back as far as bell bottoms. So
yeah, I remember that. Bell bottoms. I was a little young during the bell bottom era, but I do remember the bell bottoms. Absolutely. All right, take care. Take care. Oh my goodness. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, it's Renee from Harlem.
Oh, hey Renee. I bet you wore parachute pants back when you were breaking.
No, I wasn't that nerd. I wasn't that.
Who said break dancing was nerdy? It started in New York.
Thing is not, but parachute pants are.
Oh.
You've never been to New York.
Never. Yeah, it's not your part of New York. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've driven through Harlem, but I've never set foot in Harlem. I've driven through it in taxis.
Ever come to Harlem? Trust me, we'll be waiting for you.
What? Was that a threat?
Florida is the white power state. We know you're a bunch of redneck racists down there, and that's what love it. So the bottom line is, you have a golden showered, insecure, impeached, trying to be the president, and you're all behind that. I wonder if your wife supports that.
Supports President Trump? Absolutely. My dog supports President Trump. You said rapist. I'm a little confused by that. Who's the rapist?
Rapist.
Who?
$3.3 million he owes.
That's not a criminal conviction.
Yes, it is.
And that $83 million wasn't about a sexual assault. It was a defamation case.
He's right.
No. It's because it was a defamation case, not a rape case, and it wasn't criminal. It was civil.
He's talking about her like a dog.
Yeah.
And so it cost him $83.3 million. I hope they take all his money.
Oh, that's $83 million is cigar money for President Trump.
Well, when Letitia James gets through his fraud case, they're going to take...
Do you know the door at Mar-a-Lago? The door at Mar-a-Lago cost more than any home you've ever lived in. The men's room door on the tennis courts. I'm serious.
Okay. All right.
Cigar money.
You got your racist and cheap. I'm sure you love him.
Racist? Who's racist?
Racist.
Who? Who's racist? You? You're racist? Yeah, I can believe it.
You and Trump.
Really? What? Give me an example of. Give me an example of my racism.
Everything you say.
Pick one.
Your daughter is dating a Mexican. Made you really upset.
Why?
She married him.
Yeah. What have I said? What have I said that's racist?
What haven't you said that's racist?
Well, just pick one. Pick one of the racist things I've said. And
you're noting the ethnicity of every man, please.
Well, that's not racist. That's not racist. Right. To say someone who's white is white or someone who's black is black, that's not right. So you can't think of any. So hold on. So you cannot think of anything racist that I've said. Isn't that interesting?
I can think of a lot of things.
Well, then give me one. Give me one.
Well, let me think back because I try not to think about you too much.
No, I'll sit here and wait. That's okay. I'm waiting.
You commenting on the fact that somebody's ethnicity. You constantly noted that the person was it Hispanic or black?
What? Give me this statement I made that was if we're talking about someone that that's in the news or something, pointing out what their ethnicity is not racist. Maybe you don't know what racist is. What's the definition of racist? Maybe you don't know.
It wasn't just...
You say that I say racist things every day on the program, and I don't want to do that. I'm in the communications business. I don't want to broadcast racism, so maybe you could help me. All right? You're giving vague generalities because you can't think of anything. Now, why do you think you cannot come up with a racist quote of mine after all the years you've been listening to me? Why do you think you can't come up with one racist quote?
Oh, I can. Believe me.
No, you can't. We've been talking for 5 minutes. Maybe I haven't said anything racist. Maybe that's why you can't think of one.
Totally have. I just try not to think about you too much.
Well, you already said that. You cannot think of anything. Think about that for me. You can.
Yeah.
No, I've been at 5 minutes. You still haven't.
It hasn't been 5 minutes.
No, you've been on the air 5 minutes. Sure. You've been on the air. I've got a timer. You've been on the air 4 minutes and 55 seconds as of now. 4 minutes and 57 seconds. I got a timer on every phone line. 5 minutes and 3 seconds you've been on the line right now, on the air. Now it's 5 minutes and 7 seconds. So in 5 minutes and...
Of your racism is the fact that you are just resolutely opposed to Obama, and anytime you want to bring up an instance...
Excuse me, Hillary Clinton was opposed to Obama. She ran against him. That's not racism. That's like saying if you don't support Trump, you're a racist because you don't like white people. No, that's ridiculous.
Who said anything about white men? I didn't even mention white people.
Okay. All right. Take care. I appreciate the call. If you're on hold, hang in there. Oh, man. Yeah, time goes by fast when you're talking to me, huh, Renee? All right. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. Calls on hold, stand by. We'll be back with your calls right after this break.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my.
The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
Good Wednesday morning, everybody. Here we are midweek and still below average to start today. So some impact weather with the cool temperatures 40s, 50s this morning, but then we're up to 70s.
All right, I got the text. I'll put it up there in a little bit. Then if you remind me, I'll do it tomorrow, too, if you remind me.
Yeah, anything would help. Thank you.
Yeah.
Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, our True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
In the Palm Beaches, the major expressways are still crash free, moving up to full speed between Boca Raton and Jupiter, just about 1 hour 95 heading northbound from Deerfield Beach and Boca. The service streets are also crash free, but further south into Broward County and left lane is blocked by a multi-vehicle crash on 95 heading northbound at Commercial Boulevard. Also, the 95 express lanes are closed southbound between Ives Dairy Road and Holiday Beach Boulevard. Just stick to the main line for now. This report is sponsored by HCA Florida Healthcare. Whenever you need them, just reach out and they will be there. With more locations, more experts, and more resources to deliver the healthcare you need. To comfort you and make you feel your best, find a care site near you at HCAFloridaHealthcare.com. That's Traffic on Chris Barr.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Check out the big game party February 11th in the Paddock Restaurant at PBKC with a delicious $30 all-you-can-eat buffet, great drink specials, also big prizes including tickets to your favorite team's regular season game next season, and all the super action on over 140 HD TVs. The Paddock is your perfect spot to catch all the OTB and sports action. For tickets and info, go to pbkennelclub.com.
This Kia statewide sales event will be held only at one location, City Kia of Greater Orlando, just off the Florida Turnpike. Drive a little, save a lot.
Make that switch to City Kia. City Kia.
Start this new year in a new City Kia. Last year, over 5,000 customers made the switch and joined the City Kia family, and you can too. Save up to $8,000 on select new City Kias. Get up to $5,000 over KBB fair market value for your trip. City Kia always has the best deals, like Kia Forte from only $119.
Oh, my goodness.
City Kia delivers vehicles anywhere in the USA. This Kia statewide sales event will be held only at one location, City Kia of Greater Orlando, just off the Florida Turnpike.
See, well, I'll talk about it when we get back. There's 2 openings on the board.
Just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to feel older. This is Brian Craig, and I want to tell you about my anti-aging doctor, Dr. Mitch Matez at the Biostation West El Rey, and hormone replacement pellet therapy. Hormone replacement pellet therapy is all natural. What it does is restore your hormones to where they were when you were in your 20s. You'll feel younger, you'll have more energy, you'll get your sex drive back, and women, hormone replacement pellet therapy completely stops and reverses all the signs and symptoms of menopause. Mood swings, gone. Night sweats, gone. I've met listeners before and after hormone replacement pellet therapy with Dr. Matez, and when I first meet him, they're like Joe Biden, and no one wants to be like him. And then I meet him again after they began hormone replacement pellet therapy, and they have their energy back, just like Trump. They're standing up tall, and they feel years younger. Now, it's always a free consultation with Dr. Matez when you tell him you heard about him on the radio. 561-320-8893. 561-320-8893.
Oh, 1 opening on the board now.
The Town of Dayton Police and Fire Expo 2024 happens on February 3rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's a free, family-friendly event where community members can learn more about the Dayton Police and Fire Rescue Departments. Individuals of all ages can enjoy hands-on interactions with police and fire personnel. Appearances by McGruff the Crime Dog and Sparky the Fire Dog. First responder demonstrations, children's arts and crafts, and so much more. Ever wanted to see what the SWAT team looks like in action? Or firefighters take on a fire? Or do a vehicle extraction? Now you can. The Town of Davie Police and Fire Expo, February 3rd at the Public Safety Complex, 1230 South Nob Hill Road in Davie.
Brian Craig here with a question for seniors and those who care about them. How would you like to have instant sure that you have your prescriptions. They'll help you find a doctor, including a specialist. If you've been billed improperly by a doctor's office or a hospital, they can help you with that too. They'll be your advocate when you're in the hospital to make sure you get the care you need and the care you deserve. And that's just the beginning of what they do. I Will Advocates takes care of all Steve Kane's healthcare issues too, and they can do the same for you. I Will Advocate clients are family, and they go to bat for their family when you need them the most. Call Debbie at I Will Advocates right now. Toll free 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 47 years on the...
Yeah, you know, a lot of people wonder, why do you talk to jerks like Renee? And if you're on hold standby, I'll just say this quickly, and then I'll go. Whenever you talk to these liberal bird brains, okay, if you notice, if you listen carefully, I make all my points through my questions to him. One of the biggest things that these liberal loons run around saying is that Trump and MAGA people are racist and Trump's a rapist. I expose both of those right there through that conversation, all right? Even Renee, when I pointed out to him that trial was a defamation trial, not a rape trial, even he was stuttering, if you noticed at the end. So that's why, you know, we talk to liberal jerks. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Richie.
Oh, hey, Richie.
Yesterday, by the way.
That's okay. I'm just giving you okay. Who cares?
I won't do that today. Listen, Renee starts out his conversation with you as everyone in Florida is a white racist. That tells everything. The whole state of Florida. There isn't a black man in all black.
No, they're white too. Remember, if you don't vote for Biden, you ain't black. So they're white racists too.
Right, and you got to love Obama, because if you don't love Obama, you're a racist. And this guy's out of his mind. He must be a project baby, and he knows exactly what I'm talking about. Because I'm from New York.
A project baby.
And the projects.
Oh, you mean like Good Times?
Yeah, good government housing, and he probably goes to work with a bulletproof vest on because his own brothers will blow his brains out of himself. Because that's all that's going on in the project. Shootings and
yeah.
For Trump, $83 million, he'll never pay a dime of it. I mean, that lady will never see a dime of it. You watch her on all these talk shows, and she's bragging and acting like I'm going to go shopping with him. Does that look like a rape victim to you?
No. Looks like a crazy lady.
Crazy. She's not going to get a dime, okay? As for Ramaswamy, I like Carmine Dillon, who was going to be original. She's a smart lawyer, and I think she's 100% for Trump.
You know who I'd put in charge? You know, I'm very serious about this, by the way. If they replace Ronna McDaniel, which I hope they do, I think the head of the RNC should be Don Jr. I really do. Don Jr. would be perfect for that. Perfect.
Yeah, and the other you had one other topic that you brought up, and now my senior moment here. You had another topic that you were just talking about.
Parachute pants.
Oh no, the polls.
Oh, the polls. Yes.
Here's where you and you say I don't want to be a winner. I think Trump will win no matter who he runs against. But they hate him so much, the Democrats, and they've tried to do so many terrible things that.
Oh yeah.
And you think that they're going to put?
Yeah.
Nominated as president. They're going to fill.
No, they're not going to do it, and they're not going to do it because, you know, this is the thing. Okay, first off, he's not as checked out as people think. He uses that as a shield. You know, it's like, you know what he's like. I'm not saying he's not checked out, but he's not as bad as it seems. He doesn't take his medications. Okay, like Michael J. Fox doesn't take his Parkinson's medication, so he's symptomatic on television for, you know. Joe and Jill Biden is a mob wife. Okay, she's a mob wife. And there's so much money for them to be made. Once they announce they're not running, okay, the money dries up. No more money's coming. And there's a lot of other things too. And the Bidens are racist. They've said many, you know, Joe Biden, I'll give you an example. Joe Biden in 1979 was in the Senate and went to Jimmy Carter, who was president at the time. It might have been 78. It was 78 or 79. and he tried to get an exception to allow segregation to continue in private schools. Okay, so he's a racist, and Jill is too, and they hate the Obamas, that they had to, especially Jill, had to walk behind Michelle for 8 years. No, it's not going to happen. What president? Who has walked away from running for a second term?
Well, here's the deal. I personally think that, first of all, Glenn Campbell, he was singing songs when he had Alzheimer's, and then his memory started getting worse and worse. I think he takes a medication. I think it's not lasting as long as it was.
Yes.
To me, he's getting worse every day.
Yeah, he is.
I think she's behind it, but I think all the big money and the pressure at the convention, I think that he's going to have to flip at the convention. They're going to give him...
Well, yesterday, let me see if I have this clip queued up. I played this clip on my podcast. It's of Nikki Haley. Yeah, go on. While I'm looking for the clip, you can vamp.
Yeah, remember that the Democratic convention rules are not the same as the Republican.
That's true.
Right at the convention...
They have the super delegate system where they get the super delegates the DNC get, I don't know how many votes they get, but it's a lot more than just one. Okay, let me play this. Now, Nikki Haley was on with Trump hater Hugh Hewitt yesterday. Okay, and this is what she says. Listen, this is Nikki Haley yesterday.
Well, first of all, I think that there will be a woman president in America. It's either going to be me or it's going to be Kamala Harris.
Okay, it's going to be me or Kamala Harris. Okay, so Nikki Haley, who's a puppet for the donors, they would also have to pass over Kamala Harris. So the Bidens would have to agree to step down. Then they'd have to pass over Kamala Harris. Nothing like that's ever happened. I'll answer Johnson didn't run for re-election, okay, because he was dying of cancer, right? I mean, and he already had, that was an exception. It's not going to happen, Richie. I'm telling you. That's something not going to happen.
Nikki turned out to be the biggest piece of garbage I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, yeah.
She's one of these pitting women against men. She is really out of control. I mean, you remember in some of the debates, it takes a woman to do this. It takes a woman. She's really obsessed with this crap. She's sort of like Hillary. I mean,
she's a lot like Hillary.
Garbage.
She's a lot like Hillary. Yeah, I know.
Go for a dog catcher.
No, I wouldn't either. Oh, all right, Richie, take care. No, Richie, I agree with him 100%. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? What is going on? You okay? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Okay. Oh, something happened. I don't know what happened. Something happened. You're on the air. I hope they're okay. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, how you doing? This is Maria from Florida.
Hey, Maria.
Hey, how you doing?
You know, before you get started, that caller with all that noise, Al Knight, who does weekends here on True Oldies, he was doing an overnight show taking calls once, and he was talking to a caller on their cell phone. They got into a car accident while they were talking to Al Knight on the air. Can you imagine? Yeah, it was a lady caller. I bet Al Knight, I'm sure Al remembers. All right, go ahead, Maria. What's on your mind?
Yes, what's on my mind? That guy that called you, I would listen to the whole thing, and I said to myself,
Renee?
Yeah, dude, you so racist. I mean, you so racist, it ain't even funny. You talk about a criminal suit. It wasn't a criminal suit, it was a civil suit. And first of all, it wasn't rape. He wasn't convicted of rape. He was convicted of defamation suit because he claimed, he said that she's not my type of woman, I don't know her, and first of all, I don't even hang in the stores that way. And he said, and she's not my type of woman anyway. And they didn't like that because they're deranged, they're out of touch, and they're sick judges.
It's only a matter of time. It could happen today before E. Jean Carroll is on The View with Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar. I'm sure they're trying to get her on The View.
Oh yeah, they definitely, because she was all over the news.
Let me tell you, I bet you President Trump agrees with this. I want E. Jean Carroll to do 10,000 interviews because look at her on Rachel Maddow. She's totally insane. And even Rachel Maddow, I could tell Rachel Maddow was shocked at how kooky this mental patient is. So the more interviews she does, the more she'll discredit herself. And what liars do is when they start doing interviews, they start making up other garbage because nothing happens. So she'll say something. She will discredit herself if she continues to do interviews, even in the minds of the Trump-hating left. Like Rachel Maddow couldn't wait for that segment to end. If you go back and watch the video, she was like, "Oh my goodness, what did I do?"
Yep, exactly. And I want to say one more thing to her. If you are a victim of being raped or molested, you wouldn't be on these shows talking like that. You won't be on these shows running your mouth that way because I'm a victim. I was raped. I'm a victim. She's not a victim.
Oh, I'm sorry. You actually are a victim.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Did they get the guy?
Yeah, he's in 35 years in prison.
Wow.
I was a minor, but I was also pregnant, and he also gave me a bad disease.
Wait a minute. He raped you when you were pregnant, or did he impregnate you?
No. He raped me while I was pregnant.
Oh my goodness.
And gave me a deadly disease that caused my child to be born unformed.
Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. How old were you?
I was around about 15, 16 years old.
You've had a rough life. 15, you're pregnant, and you get raped by some monster? Is he out yet, or is he still in?
I don't know. He might be still in because I haven't heard from him and hear from him. But, yeah, I'm a true victim. She's not.
Yeah, and you can tell. You hear any celebrations? Are you going to offer to take me on shopping sprees like E. Jean Carroll?
I don't even want nothing from him. I never pursued him. I never sued him or nothing like that because I don't want to see his face.
Let me tell you, when someone is a victim of a crime, they're not really into getting money from the person. They want them in jail so that they're safe, right?
Yep.
You know, I sent a man to prison once. He happened to be black, to the penitentiary. There was a guy. He tried to steal my car, and it was late at night, and when he was trying to steal my car, he was hitting the brake pedal, and the lights were blinking, the cops drove by and rolled up on him. He did a little more than a year in the penitentiary, and I remember when he got out, I was thought he was going to come to my house and get me. You know, I pressed charges against him. You know, when anyone's a victim of a crime, and that's nothing like what you went through, and I'm not trying to take away from your experience. I would imagine with you, you want the rapist in prison so that he can't hurt you again.
That's right. That's right.
But not E. Jean Carroll though. She wants to get paid.
Yeah, she wants to get paid because it's about taking Trump money, President Trump money away from him, taking away his assets, taking away everything, and trying to just
and being the star at all the cocktail parties in New York and D.C. See, but there's a difference between you and E. Jean Carroll. You really were raped.
Yeah, I was.
All right, God bless. All right, take care. Thanks for sharing. I think it's important what she shared because I think it illustrates this lunatic. All right. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth.
If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. You'll love the content here. I live stream 7 days a week. I'm always taking live calls like I'm doing now. What a nice day. We got our sun back in Florida. The people delivering my TV, they send me a thing telling me how many stops away they are and everything. Wow. Pretty high tech. All right, we're coming back in 20 seconds.
Springs is on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood by the Coral Square Mall. Call any lab test now of Boca at 561-237-5009. Any lab test now of Coral Springs number is 954-906-5983. And don't forget to mention that you heard about them on the radio.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Richard Ford.
Hey, Richard. What's up?
Okay, I don't know how to express myself properly when I get on the phone and talk to you, but I'm an independent, but I've always, for the last 20 years or so, vote Republican. And when I talk to Democrats that I know who admit an idiot, bumbling, whatever, corrupt, they want him in there because they know he's not making the decisions. The speeches for him are written perfectly for him. Mm-hmm. My plan is this, my this is this. It's not my anything, but they always use one word why they must get Biden in, and it's called power. They want a Democrat in that office to name the new to name another couple of hundred judges, and especially Supreme Court.
Well, Sonia Sotomayor, who is racist, isn't she the one that said a wise Latina can make a better decision than a white man? Was that Sonia Sotomayor? I think it was. She said she's getting tired of, she's overworked by the workload. They don't even work; their clerks do it all. So, she may have to step down, and. I would not be surprised if she's not going to step down now, because we set a precedent with Obama, with Merrick Garland, not to confirm a Supreme Court nominee during the election year. So they're in big trouble right now. She's like, she can't handle the caseload. Trump's coming back.
Are any of the conservative judges very, very old?
I don't know. Clarence Thomas, it's hard to tell with, he's older.
All right, well, that scares me.
No, listen, Clarence Thomas will retire in Trump's second term, so Trump gets to appoint someone who's right out of law school, 25. They'll be there for 70 years. And Sonia Sotomayor, see, what they're doing, this story about, let me tell you how devious these people in the media are. The reason they're floating this story about Sonia Sotomayor being overwhelmed by the workload is they're trying to scare people that Trump is going to get a Supreme Court pick. We already have a Trump Supreme Court. He's going to get another one with her. So they're going to try to use the Supreme Court to try to. It's desperate. They're going to lose.
I hope you're right.
All right. I appreciate it. Take care. All right. Our number 1-888 GO KANE 1-888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're calling from. Now, there's a story out there. I'm not going to go through the details of the story because they're too graphic and not important. But have you seen the guy that beheaded his father? Have you heard about this story? It's a terrible story. The guy's dad works for the federal government. He beheaded his father and he posted it online. And the media are telling us, of course, that he is a Trump guy. He's MAGA. Of course, that's what MAGA do, right? And Laura Loomer actually found some post of his on social media, and the guy that did the beheading, not only is he not MAGA, he posted this on social media. And this is an exact quote, word for word. Even my own family upholds this cult belief and is willing to go to jail to prove it. Donald Trump. So there you go. He said his own family are in a cult and support the cult leader, Donald Trump. So the guy that got his head cut off is the MAGA guy. The guy that did the beheading, well, he's a liberal. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. You're on the air. Once, twice. All right. So we're getting a lot of that today, You know what? You know what's going on with the trolls? You know what's happening? It's those poll numbers, right? The poll numbers. Have you known? I started the show at 6, going over the poll numbers, and what the poll numbers were is in every single toss-up, battleground, swing state, Biden versus Trump. Trump is winning in all of them, and that's amazing. And many of those states, Biden got the Electoral College votes for last time. And ever since I went through that story, it's been triggered liberal out of triggered liberal. The one guy that said I'm an insecure piece of, that hung up, Renee from Harlem, and the troll guy, the poll numbers have really triggered them. I don't know why. They're getting kind of desperate. Oh, I want to. This is totally unrelated, but I want to share this. Have you seen this story that they think they have found Amelia Earhart's plane, right? Not too far from that island she was going to, and it's deep in the water, 16,000 feet. And my wife on my podcast last night brought this up, and we were talking about it. My wife says, "Oh, I've always been a fan of Amelia Earhart," and I said, "Why? Why? What is her big accomplishment? Her biggest accomplishment is that she failed." And my wife got a little upset about this, and she's like, "Well, I want to learn more about Amelia Earhart." And my wife put on a documentary film online that she found on Amelia Earhart, and I watched it with her. And Amelia Earhart, I don't know why people idolize her. Not only did this documentary was made years ago, they were able to interview people who knew her, who were friends with her. And Amelia Earhart, I'm not going to go through all the dirt with her personal life, and she had a creepy husband, but Amelia Earhart and her navigator, Amelia Earhart did not know how to operate the radio on her plane. By the way, either did her navigator. They didn't know how to operate the radio on the plane. Back then, they still used Morse code. She didn't know Morse code. Her navigator didn't know it very well, and she left behind. They took off out of Miami. Amelia Earhart began her flight out of Miami. She left behind the key that gives you all what the Morse code means, so she could use it with the key. She left that behind. So what Amelia Earhart did was just. And they were interviewing people that knew her, because done a few years ago, it was a money grab. Her and her husband had blown through most of the money from her publicity, and they were doing it for a money grab. But what made Amelia Earhart's flight unique, she was going to be the first person not to fly around the entire planet. That had been done before, but she was doing it around the equator, okay? So what kind of person... Back in 1930, what was it? I forgot the year, but it was right before the Second World War. What kind of person back then with that technology, okay? Oh, and by the way, she didn't know how to navigate. She had a navigator who was an alcoholic. Everybody knows that. But she didn't know how to navigate either. What kind of person in the 1930s flies around the planet at the equator, at the widest point you could possibly do it, right? I mean, even, Lindbergh went up to Greenland and all that stuff. He really didn't fly across the Atlantic. He took some shortcuts. What kind of person flies around the planet at the equator in the 1930s, doesn't know how to use the radio on the plane, doesn't know the Morse code, brings a drunk, doesn't know how to navigate? What kind of person does that? You know what? And a stupid, arrogant person like Nikki Haley, okay? That's who does that. And, listen, I don't want to trash Amelia Earhart too much, but she's in the news today because they found, this plane is probably hers, but she's not someone to be idolized. In fact, she's the opposite of that. She should not be, I was shocked when I saw this documentary. None of this was in the Hilary Swank movie. I don't remember it, at least, because she's always idolized. But you know what it was? It was arrogance, greed, celebrity, and also, even though they didn't have this term then, it was also kind of affirmative action because she was a lady. And people should not be idolizing him. I feel bad for her that she didn't make it and she died. Don't get me wrong, in her Navy. But she's not someone to look up to. You could take a lesson from her, know what you're doing before you do something like that. That's the lesson of Amelia Earhart. I only bring that up because she's in the news a lot now because they think they found her plane for real this time, and they keep mentioning her in the news like she's some incredible feminist role model. I don't quite get that. But listen, if you're on hold, hang in there. I want to tell you guys before we break that Mike Lindell is offering free shipping on all MyPillow products to our listeners. So when you go to MyPillow.com with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, it is free shipping on all items on the MyPillow.com website, everything. Plus, you get the special deal. Like the pet beds, huge discount on the pet beds, less than $20. You get the discount on the product plus free shipping with our promo code Kane, site-wide. No matter how big the purchase, no matter how small, no matter how heavy the item or how light, it is free shipping. And let me tell you, that is a big, big savings, especially like you order some of the heavier items. So go to MyPillow.com, use our promo code Kane, Kane, free shipping, everything site-wide. You can also order online or by phone, 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879, promo code Kane, Kane. All right, we'll take our break for the top of the hour. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be back right after this.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Home Studio.
Is that Joe on the last line?
Should be. Let
Me, yeah.
To all these channels, Steve Kane Show. Hey,
Yeah, I thought so because it was the last line, yeah.
Perfect. I'm going to put you on hold and we'll get to you right when we come back from the top of the hour. Perfect. Bye.
Yeah, Tom Laporta is going to come in tomorrow morning, probably around 8:30 to record a spot. Okay. So, I don't know, can you record it in here while I'm on the air? Or yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
I was going to say, with Amelia Earhart, do you hear what they projected what happened to her?
What? They ran out of gas?
So
they got lost.
Gas, crashed on an island.
Yeah.
This island's known for big tree crabs, I think it's called. And
yeah.
They're carnivores.
Oh, she got eaten by crabs?
That she crashed, bumped her head, and they're like sharks. They know
yeah.
There's like
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Found her body while she was concussed
yeah.
and tore.
Well, they give her credit for finding the island. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. See, the wireless mic, you can hear me no matter where I'm at, guys, so I got to watch what I say.
I think they found some sort of bone, unless I think that was the bone, that they found bone fragments of her from that island.
Yeah.
Something like that. Still crazy.
Oh, I just got a text from Sarah from the YouTube chat. She just got her plane ticket for the cruise in April. Awesome. See, most people on the cruise, they by the end of the cruise, they have my cell phone number because we communicate when we're on cruise. So Sarah's got my cell phone. In fact, last time Sarah came to Florida for the cruise, we went out to dinner with her, my wife and I, and went to the mall with her.
goal has always been to keep building.
All right, we're coming back in 24 seconds.
Since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, hour number 3 has begun. I'm Brian. Our number 1-888-GO, Kane 1-888-465-2631. It's time to check in with Joe Thomas, Jupiter Joe Thomas, we call him. Joe Thomas, good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. You know, we talk about annuities when we have you on the program, but I thought maybe today you could educate people a little bit about annuities and that what is an annuity? Because I think a lot of people don't know.
So, you know, it's a very unique thing, and a lot of people get confused. They hear the word annuity, and they kind of freak out. The bottom line with an annuity is it just provides income for somebody that wants income for either a period of time or the rest of their lives, and that's really what it does.
Well, I like rest of my life income. Sounds pretty good to me.
So here's the deal. I was thinking before we got on the phone here, you know, here's how I can help clients out there listening today. If you have a 401k at your job, you're going to retire within the next 1 to 3 years. You don't know what to do, quite honestly, and that's how we help you. We show you how to take that 401k, turn it into an income stream for the rest of your life. I would also, point number 2 is if you're not at your old job, your money shouldn't be there. Why? Because of fees that they're charging you don't even know about. And secondly, you have no control of your risk levels. And that's what we do, Brian.
Yeah, you take the risk level out. And, you know, a friend of mine retired recently, you know, and kids grew up. He sold a house, got a condo, and the money that he had in between, he bought an annuity with.
Me about that. A lot of people use them where it provides that income stream in addition to your Social Security. So your Social Security is guaranteed. This income annuity this income that's provided by an annuity is giving you that second leg of the money you need to provide a guaranteed income, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me ask you, do people ever buy more than one annuity, or is it just like a one annuity and you just keep that?
No, it's not a one and done. I have clients that will have different annuities that do different things. Some will be for growth, some will be for income, some will be for tax deferral, some will pass to the client's kids, where they want to leave money to different people in their marriage or whatever. It solves a lot of issues. It really does. It's not the old grandpa's annuities that they used to be like, years ago.
Well, Joe Thomas, you offer free phone consultations with anybody that hears you here on the radio. And, the thing about that is everyone's situation is different, right? Maybe you want to leave some money for your kids. Maybe you want to grow your money. Maybe you want or need extra income. When you call Joe Thomas for your free phone consultation, let him know what you need, what you need your retirement situation to be, and he'll give you all kinds of options, right?
Exactly, and I feel that most people just want to talk to somebody about these options and figure out, hey, retirement's a confusing time, and you got to have the right answers, and that's what we bring to the table here. Just talk it out with somebody. It's that.
Absolutely, and retirement can be scary because a lot of times people are afraid. Well, I'm going to lose my income from my job. What am I going to do? And here's an opportunity for you to get income. So listen, give Joe Thomas a call. I'm going to give you his number, but if you miss the number, you can get the number on his website, jupiterjoe.com. You can also ask him for a free copy of his book, The Retirement Know-It-All. Here's the number, 561-743-0999, 561-743-0999, or online at jupiterjoe.com. All right, Joe Thomas, good to talk to you. We'll talk again soon. All right, take care. I know a lot of you taking advantage of that free consultation. Please do, all right? Okay, let's go back to our phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, boy, here we go. You're on the air. Oh, is this one? See, it's been going on all day. No, it's not a technical thing. This is what you're hearing on the phones with some of these callers. It's Trump derangement syndrome is what it is. Those polls just flipped them out. That's okay. I can handle it. I almost feel bad for them. We might have to bring Dr. Lemaski back here on the air. Dr. Janae Lemaski who, my therapist, Steve Kane's therapist, it's true, I'm not kidding. She was my therapist first, but she does therapy for anything. But she actually did this after Trump's first victory in 2016. She was offering special therapy to Democrats to help them with the election loss trauma. I'm not kidding. That's not a joke. You know, Democrats take these things very personally. So if you're suffering from Trump derangement syndrome, like some of these loons and everything else, you know, Dr. Lemaski can help. I don't know. Maybe I'll call her up. Maybe we'll have her in. She can offer some therapy to our Trump derangement syndrome suffering listeners, of which we obviously have quite a few. And if I remember correctly, I don't know if she put together a support group or if it was obviously she did one-on-one therapy, but she might have had a support group of Trump derangement syndrome sufferers. Oh my goodness. You cannot pay me enough to be a part of that group. That's got to be like the worst group ever. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Racist, dumb, idiot white man.
I'm a racist what white man? Oh. Did you hear what she said in between? A racist what? What'd she say? Dumb. Do I have to hit the dump button? Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't know what she said. She said I'm a racist something white man. But the very fact that she put in the racial descriptor there at the end, but she sounded white to me. Did she sound white to you? I don't know. Hey, you know, whatever. She could be a self-hating white person. I don't know. Oh, my goodness. See? They're triggered. This is, you know, remember I was telling you the other day, I don't know, one or two of the callers called in, conservatives, and they were talking like losers, and I was getting frustrated, and I was telling them how great things are. You shouldn't be feeling like a loser. Listen to these liberals I've talked to today. I've talked to a bunch of liberals since the first hour, and there has not been a liberal on the phone all morning long who has not been hysterical. Different degrees, different level of, you know, being articulate or not. You know, the last caller couldn't quite understand. But they've all been triggered. And what are they triggered by? Trump winning. You know, I'll never disagree with President Trump. Never. You'll never hear me disagree nor criticize President Trump except on one thing. There's only one thing I'll disagree with President Trump on. I will never get sick of winning. Okay? President Trump said, well, but that was sarcasm, so he really didn't mean that anyway. So that's not really disagreeing with him. But he says, you're going to get sick of winning. You're going to be winning so much, you're going to get sick of... I never get sick of winning, especially against these guys. And you know the crazy thing about these deranged liberals, they're the ones that think they should be running the country. They say something's wrong with us. Now, Nikki Haley, she gave another interview. She went and did an interview with Gayle King, Oprah Winfrey's best friend. And listen to this exchange. This woman is really delusional. Nikki Haley, Gayle King.
If the people in your own home state right now, you're trailing Donald Trump, that you're not deterred by that, clearly.
I mean, look, this is just getting started. I just got to South Carolina. We just left New Hampshire. My goal has always been to keep building. We had 14 people in this race. I took out the fellas one at a time.
The fellas. She's trying to sound like she's Southern, so she says fellas. You know what I mean? You know, that's how these Democrats operate. Like, I remember John Kerry. John Kerry's accent is called a Boston Brahmin accent, Boston Blue. It's really a snob accent. And, you know, he sounds like he's British, Major Winchester from MASH kind of accent. And people were making fun of the way he talked, that he sounded like a snob. So John Kerry, this true story. John Kerry was trying to sound like a common man, and he took the press corps with him when he was running for president and went to a store and bought a fishing license. And he goes in and he says, is this where I get me a fishing license? And I thought, oh my goodness. He had James Carville as his dialect coach. Is this where I get me a fishing license? And oh my goodness. And then he went and bought a jock strap on television, the largest one they had in the store too. I didn't make that up. And Nikki Haley here, she keeps saying fellas. She's trying to sound like a Southern gal. But now this is an interesting thing though about her. In this clip, Because Gayle King is like, it's hopeless for you, Nikki Haley. You're losing in South Carolina against Trump. And Gayle King's not happy about this. She hates Trump too. And Nikki Haley says, I just got to South Carolina. Has anybody seen Nikki Haley's birth certificate? I'm not getting into a birther thing with her, but she said to Gayle King, this was yesterday, that she just got to South Carolina. My understanding with Nikki Haley is she was born and raised in South Carolina. She lives there today, and she was twice the governor of South Carolina. So what is she talking about? She just got to South Carolina. Now, this is what I was telling people earlier. This is the thing with Nikki Haley. It's over. It's over. But she's staying in the race so that she can go on television and promote this war with Iran. So she's going to continue as long as she can with that. But she just got to South Carolina? I mean, this woman is completely delusional. And this way that she's talking, well, I beat all the fellas. She didn't beat anyone. It was a three-way race because everybody else had dropped out. It was a three-way race in Iowa, and she came in third. Okay? It was a two-person race in New Hampshire, and she came in second. So does she really think, is she this delusional that she really thinks she beat someone? She didn't beat anyone. She's lost in both of these, and she's going to lose again. If she thinks she won, she's got some problems. All right, we'll take our first break of the final hour of today's program. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll break and be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KEY-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. This Kia statewide sales event will be held only at one location, City Kia of Greater Orlando, just off the Florida Turnpike. Drive a little, save a lot. Start this new year in a new City Kia. Last year, 5,000 customers made the switch and joined the City Kia family, and you can too. Save up to $8,000 on select new City Kias. Get up to $5,000 over KBB fair market value for your trade. City Kia always has the best deals, like Kia Forte from only $119 a month. And remember, City Kia delivers vehicles anywhere in the USA. This Kia statewide sales event will be held only at one location, City Kia of Greater Orlando, just off the Florida Turnpike. Drive a little, save a lot. Nobody beats a City Kia deal. Nobody. Why? Because City Kia is where the magic lives. Visit us at citykia.com. Brian Craig here. If you're a homeowner, business owner, or with a homeowners association and your roof is old or compromised, you need to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting. With a AAA credit rating and bonded up to $10 million, Laporta Contracting doesn't need a large deposit like these other contractors do. Typical deposits other contractors want are 1/3 of the contract. If your job is $30,000, that's a $10,000 deposit. If your job is $300,000, that's $100,000. What are they doing with your money? Typically, it takes 3 to 4 weeks to get a permit. In HOAs, much longer. If they need money for the materials, they don't have credit with the suppliers, and that spells bad news for the homeowner or HOA. Tom Laporta is honest, knowledgeable, and reliable, and he'll never sell you a roof you don't need. Laporta Contracting has been in the roofing and contracting business since 1988, and his services cover the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. Tom Laporta can handle any type of roofing job too. Residential roofing and repair, commercial roofs in schools, municipal buildings, office buildings, emergency repairs. If it's roofing, Tom Laporta can do it. Call Tom Laporta right now on his cell phone, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaContracting.com. You can make 2024 the year of more ocean views and quality time with your cruise with Margaritaville at Sea's new Buy One, Get Three promotion. Now, for a limited time, you can bring up to 3 guests for free when you buy just 1 guest fare. Bring
Oh, my goodness.
family or kids along for free on fun-soaked getaways to the Bahamas, aboard the Margaritaville at Sea Paradise, or adventure together with your best mates in Mexico and Key West this summer aboard the all-new Islander. Don't miss out
Oh, boy.
Hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at True Oldies FM.
All right. Just a little while ago, I got a text message from one of our listeners, Sarah, in Colorado, and she texted me. She just got her plane ticket to fly to Florida for our cruise in April. And I'll just tell you this, the cruise, we leave April 27th on the Celebrity Beyond. We're going to the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. There are a couple of suites left. Otherwise, the cruise is completely sold out. But there's a couple of suites. If you're interested in a suite, call in. But also, if you want to call and get put on a waiting list, you can do that because you never know. Sometimes somebody might get the cold or something and not be able to travel. But if you call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot and you're interested in a suite, there's a couple suites left. Otherwise, it's sold out. But you can get on the waiting list in case, for some reason, at the last minute, someone cannot make it. So I'm going to give you Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot's number. It's 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. That's 561-244-5779. All right? And I look forward to spending a week at sea with you. All right? Okay, now I just found out that Fetterman's wife left him. Do you guys see this? John Fetterman's wife, Giselle, left him. She's deleted all photographs with him and her together on social media and him alone. She's deleted any photo with him in it, even alone, from her social media, and she's now identifying as single. She left him. Now, it's true. I know. You know, a lot of guys are going to try to get a hold of, what's her name? Giselle. Now, this is an interesting thing here, okay? Couple questions here. Fetterman, if you've noticed, lately Fetterman's been making a lot of sense. You know, he had some brain surgery a few months ago. Remember, he was MIA from the Senate for a while. He had brain surgery, and he's been making sense on a number of issues. The other day, he came out, not only did he come out in support of Israel, there were protesters at his office, these terrorist supporters, were protesting at his office, and Fetterman had an Israeli flag, and he went to the roof of the building and hung the Israeli flag over the side of the building the other day, Fetterman. Did you see that? Then he's been talking about the border crisis, and he's been talking like Trump when it comes to the border. So what I'm wondering about Fetterman's, and she has left him. It's over. Which came first? His clear-thinking conservative positions on these issues, or the wife leaving him? And I asked, you know, she left him. She left him, okay? Now, typically, a wife does not leave her husband unless she's got something else going on. Same with husbands, but especially the wives, okay? But did she, we don't know when she left him, but we know she now is single. Did she leave him because of his conservative positions he's been giving lately? Or did she leave him and now she hasn't been whispering in his ear and he's been thinking for himself and he's more conservative, Fetterman, than we realized? I don't know. I'm curious about that. I'd very much like to know, in fact. But, you know, Fetterman, I mean, it's very surprising how he's been talking lately. You know, the way he's been talking lately is very conservative. And that's a good thing, and I'll tell you why. We're going to probably take back the Senate this year. There's the last time it was impossible. You know, there's only a third of the Senate up every 2 years. And last time there were not enough seats in play. It's always a third, but some people are entrenched for life. There's more seats in play now. So it is possible for us to get a Republican majority in the Senate this time around. It's not going to be easy. It's never easy in the Senate, but it's possible. So if we now that he's been voicing so many conservative things, if we get just a slim majority in the Senate, the way Fetterman's talking, I think Fetterman, if we have Trump in the White House, Republicans controlling both houses, and legislation comes through, I think he's going to vote with the Republicans more often than people realize. Not every time. He's got to, he's still a liberal. He's still a Democrat. He's not changing parties. But like on the border issue, I think he would vote for any border legislation Trump and the Republicans put forth if we controlled the Senate and the House. There's no point in him doing it now because they've got the majority, and that's pretty amazing. Now, the reason he is on the right side on the border issue, now his wife, she looks like some of those people walking across the border. Maybe he's just upset with her, at Hispanic people. I don't know, but it's more because he's a union guy. Okay, this guy Fetterman is a very strong union guy. It's in his DNA. All right, and I've heard when he was running, I watched some of his speeches and I saw some of the events he was with the union guys. When he's with the union guys, he's in his element. That's where his mind is, what's left of it from all the brain damage. And the illegals take union jobs away. They may not take jobs in auto plants, maybe they do, but there's a lot of union jobs in the trades that the illegals take. And it doesn't seem that way these days, but over the years, the unions have been for securing the border because they want to protect the jobs of their union members. And Fetterman, he very well could be a safe MAGA, safe Trump vote. Now, another thing that's going to get a lot of play today is this ex-Trump official got shot in D.C. He's in critical condition. He had a strange job. He was the chief operating officer for Trump with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. So it was like a low-level position. I don't know too much about that stuff. But he was shot in D.C., and, this is one of those instances. It's high profile because he's got the Trump connection. This is one of those instances when you don't see the left making a gun control issue out of it. Why do you think that is? Because he's a Republican and he got shot. He probably got, because it's D.C., he probably got shot by a black killer, or, attempted murderer, because he's in critical condition. He's not dead. Hopefully he will never die, that he'll survive this shooting. But it's okay, I guess, to shoot MAGA people because the media don't even want to get into this story. He got shot by a Democrat, and when it doesn't fit their narrative, all of a sudden they're not concerned about gun control. Now, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. When we come back, there's a lot more to talk about. And your calls, our number, 1-888-GO-K1. Yes, the shooter has been identified as an African-American male who was trying to rob and carjack him. His name is Mike Gill, is the Trump official who was shot. Black male in D.C. attempted to rob and carjack him and shot him. Well, let's put our prayers that he survives this god-awful shooting. All right, we'll take our break. Our number, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
In the Palm Beaches, the major expressways are still crash-free this morning, but multiple lanes are blocked in West Palm along with Children Boulevard eastbound in Australian Avenue by a multi-vehicle crash. Old River at Lawrence where another multi-vehicle crash there. An incident now clear off to the right shoulder on 95 heading southbound at Congress Avenue. You're going to find some minor breakups there. And the delays from 95 northbound from Deerfield Beach to Boca, also the turnpike in the Lake Worth area. This report is sponsored by Jackson Hewitt and matters for your taxes. When you get your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt, prepare to shout Jackson Hewitt yeah from the rooftops.
In the event you don't get your biggest refund, you'll get your money plus $100. That's traffic, Chris Paul.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Check out the big game party February 11th in the Paddock Restaurant at PBKC with a delicious $30 all-you-can-eat buffet, great drink specials, also big prizes including tickets to your favorite team's regular season game next season, and all the super action on over 140 HD TVs. The Paddock is your perfect spot to catch all the OTB and sports action. For tickets and info, go to pbkennelclub.com.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Ryan. I just want to say thank you for Dr. Appleton because I'm from Orlando. It took 3 hours to go down there. It took my 90-year-old mom. My mom walks straighter than she ever walked in her life. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being such a willing vessel to talk about Dr. Appleton.
That's amazing. So you heard me in Orlando talking about Dr. Appleton and drove to South Florida with your mother to see him?
Yes, my mom is awesome now. Awesome. No more arthritis, no more pills, none of that. She's going back to New York. She sits on a train for 24 hours. And I'm telling you, no pain. She gets off that train. I'm like, this is she walks like a young woman.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Call Dr. Appleton and say bye-bye to your pain, too. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Online, AppletonCairo.com.
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Lisa, and my husband and I received our My Pillow 2.0 that we ordered with Kane the other day, the buy one get one free, and they're our first My Pillows, and we love them. We absolutely love them. They're just absolutely marvelous. Yeah, I'm so glad. I got slippers on the way too.
Go to MyPillow.com and use our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, and buy your My Pillow 2.0. Right now, buy one, get one free. You can also order by phone, toll free, 800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE.
You can make 2024 the year of more ocean views and quality time with your cruise with Margaritaville at Sea's new Buy One, Get Three promotion. Now, for a limited time, you can bring up to 3 guests for free when you buy just 1 guest fare. Bring your friends, family, or kids along for free on boats on airways to the Bahamas, aboard the Margaritaville at Sea Paradise, or adventure together with your best mates in Mexico and Key West this summer aboard the all-new Islander. Don't miss out on a sail like no other. Go to MargaritavilleAtSea.com and book today.
Hi, it's Katie from Will For You. Why not start the new year off with a fashionable Vortex luxury vinyl floor? These exceptional floors are 100% waterproof, hit-proof, and pet-proof. Just what is necessary for our busy Florida lifestyle. Vortex floors are the best. When I have my friends over, we can hang out, have some snacks.
Do the amateur report. You want to do the amateur report on that break or when you come out?
I'll do it coming out, yeah.
All right, I'll play commercials on that.
As always, Will For You has the lowest price on Vortex floors. Top that off with installation by our expert team and interest-free financing. It's truly a combination hard to beat. From one neighbor to another, we've been flooring families like yours and ours for over 40 years. Come visit our expanded showrooms in Jupiter at the corner of Alternate 818 and Indian Town Road, next to Publix. In Stewart on US 1 Federal Highway, just south of Walmart at willfortheletterUFOA.com.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Celebrating 47 years on the air.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jersey Mike from West Palm.
Oh, hey, Mike. What's up, Mike?
Thank you. Yeah, like that, you've got a great show. I really enjoy it.
Well, thank you. You've got great taste in radio programming, I must say.
Let me ask you this about your news source, because, you know, a lot of people don't realize it, but that news is very biased. But you do.
What news?
The other day, well, what you follow. You follow Newsmax?
Yeah.
I'd like to know what other one do you follow, because I'd like to follow.
Oh my gosh, no, I don't. You know, when I do my show prep in the morning, the Gateway, mostly websites. The Gateway Pundit, that's a big one.
Okay.
The GatewayPundit.com is one of the best news sources in America. That's my first stop in the morning.
a G, gateway.
Gate, like the gate, like the gate of offense. The gateway pundit.com. That's the best source for news. I mean, it's like what the Drudge Report used to be like when it was new.
All right, okay. I'm going to make the cruise this summer. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, you are?
Oh yes, sir. If I can get on that ship, I'm going to be there. And
But did you call our travel agent?
I'm doing it as soon as I go to the phone at 9 a.m. because I figure that's when the office calls.
Okay, that's good. No, I hope to see him.
Will Steve be with you? Or?
Yeah, Steve will be with us, but we sit at different tables in the dining room.
I understand.
We don't, yeah.
He's not on the show. Is he ill or?
He's not. No, Steve's fine. He's just not here today. He's fine. But no, Steve will be on the cruise with his wife. Well, I appreciate the call. Yeah, Steve will be on the cruise. Yeah, but we don't sit at the same table because we different people. You know why that is? Some listeners, I don't understand this. Some listeners don't like me. Some don't like Steve. So we kind of the ones that don't like me and like Steve sit with him. The ones that like me and don't like Steve, I guess, sit with me. I don't know how it kind of works. I don't understand why everyone doesn't love me and like me, but that's the way it is. So I was reading this article though during the break about Fetterman's wife leaving him, and this apparently happened officially in December. And she said she posted on Twitter, and then she deleted her Twitter. But she said she felt disrespected. So, she is from, I looked up where she's from. She's from Brazil. Okay? I think she's disrespected, feels disrespected because of his stance on the border. I do. The thing about marriage, for people to have a marriage, obviously married people don't agree on everything. Okay? I mean, come on. Nobody agrees on everything. But there's certain core values that you have to have in common or it's just not going to work. And if you're a conservative and you're married to a liberal, it's not going to work. You might have some fun while you're dating, but it's going to get old real quick when you get. And it's vice versa for the liberal. I know there's been there was that one couple, James Carville and his wife, Matlin, right? She was, James Carville worked for Clinton, and then his wife was she an advisor or chief of staff to Dick Cheney? I can't remember. But they have kind of like a carnival sideshow. They would go on shows together, married couple, he's Republican, or she's Republican, he's Democrat, you know what I mean? That was kind of like a fake business thing. But in the real world, when someone like Fetterman all of a sudden says, because liberals are, there are a lot of things, okay, no doubt about it, but one thing they certainly are intolerant. And if there's no wiggle room. You disagree with a liberal on one thing, you're everything in the book, right? And I think that's what happened. And what may have happened to him, this is what I think happened to Fetterman. I think he was very, very sick. Remember, he had a stroke, and he had the brain damage. He was in the hospital for a while, and when he was suffering from that post-stroke era, he was being controlled mostly by her, by the wife. And then when he was in the hospital for quite a while, I remember talking about it, people had not seen him, and he had some type of brain surgery. He was in the hospital for at least a month, Fetterman, and when he came out of the hospital, he was well for the first time in a long time, and the wife couldn't control him and walk him around anymore. He took, because he was better, and really she was the senator, not him. And that's what happened. She liked it. She liked being married to Fetterman when he was brain damaged, just coming out of a stroke, couldn't think, couldn't talk. I mean, you saw the time. He had some pretty bad things. And if you watch, he's big on social media, and he likes to film himself while he's driving. And he's got a Jeep, and he likes to film himself driving at high rates of speed down the road, talking about things in the Jeep and in his truck. And so he's obviously gotten his brain back, and he can't be controlled by her anymore. So I'd like to know how that happened. What I mean is, how did he really get into the Senate? Because if she was controlling him, takes a lot of money to run a statewide race for the United States Senate, okay? This isn't a House seat, it's a Senate seat. Only 2 for each state. So I'm wondering who were the people behind her that pushed him into the Senate and how they're feeling now. He's in trouble. He will likely be a one-term senator because the support that he had, like his wife, will probably leave him because unless he becomes a radical liberal open border guy. And now if he does that, well, then maybe they'll stay with him. But it's an interesting thing with Fetterman because if you see him today, you don't see him in the press as much because they don't talk. And if remember when he first got elected, he was worse than Biden. I mean, mentally, he was really out of it. He was doing speeches on the campaign trail, and his words made no sense because of the stroke and the brain damage. And when he was at his worst, Fetterman, CNN, they were talking about him running for president after Biden. Remember this? And they liked the idea of having this brain-damaged guy that they could control. And now that he's well, and you see him now, he's not the same person. It is night and day. Now, he's still a Democrat. Now, so we got to, he didn't, get enough surgery done on his brain to become a Republican. He's still a Democrat, and he's a union guy, so that's never going to happen. But he's a different person today, and that's why the wife left. She lost control of him. Now, a follow-up on yesterday's show, and I monitored a lot of media yesterday, and yesterday we were talking about the drone strike on the U.S. service personnel that were killed and how they were reporting yesterday, even on our news at the top of the hour, they were reporting yesterday that the defenses at the base misidentified the drone as a U.S. drone, and that's how it was successful. And I was talking yesterday how I betcha that is a U.S. drone that Biden left behind in Afghanistan. Remember that? We talked about that on the whole show yesterday. And do you know, this is not because I was doing the show yesterday that this has happened, but have you noticed how that story's completely disappeared? It's completely disappeared. The whole drone story. It was everywhere yesterday. And the reason it was... See, what happened yesterday was deep state misinformation being put out there in the news cycle. They put it out there for a day that the defense system misidentified the drone as a U.S. drone. And now they got that out there. It's gone. And what's being reported today is something that I've not heard them do when we've lost service personnel. I heard, and I think it was in our news, that the 3 soldiers who were killed in the drone strike, they gave them all promotions. They made them all sergeants. Now, I know people have gotten promoted after they've died and such, but this thing about promoting them, you know what that's about? Increasing the benefits for the families, shutting the families up. They don't want the families out there talking. These families of military personnel, one of the soldiers that was killed, her family was talking yesterday, and they said that she loved her country, she wanted to serve her country. How often do you hear that from people today that are that age? Not often. All 3 of them were black. Okay? All 3 of those who were killed were black. The families were starting to do interviews. They're in trouble with the black vote. All of a sudden, boom, they promoted them all after their death. Increases the benefit to the families. They're trying to shut the families up, trying to get them to stop doing interviews. Because there have been many times when they've brought soldiers back home and Biden blew it. The checking the watch, he got SEAL Team, him and Obama got SEAL Team 6 killed. That was the team that took out bin Laden. It was classified who took it out. And Obama and Biden blurted it out at a public speech that it was SEAL Team 6, and then the Taliban, Al-Qaeda, they took out SEAL Team 6, remember? That's exactly right. So he has messed up there have been multiple family members from multiple times, the remains of fallen soldiers have come home that have talked about him checking the watch at the airport. They wanted to take care of this family and not have them all over the place trashing him. That's why they did the promotions. All right, we'll take our last break of the day. When we get back, there's a lot more to talk about. Oh, my goodness, I cannot believe it's almost 9 o'clock already. Where did the show go? I haven't even gotten to half of my show prep. All right, I got to go through the other half of my show prep and find one or two things that I got to mention because I haven't gotten through anything today. I'm Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. We'll take our last break and be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
When you need lab work, don't waste hours and hours waiting at the doctor's office or one of those big labs. Go to any lab test now in Boca and any lab test now in Coral Springs. Their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest you'll find anywhere. No appointment, doctor's order, or prescription is needed, and you're in and out in 15 minutes or less. They offer every lab and blood work your doctor can order. They even have drug testing and STD testing. Take control of your health care and visit any lab test now in Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. There's lots of any lab test nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. Just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to feel older. This is Brian Craig, and I want to tell you about my anti-aging doctor, Dr. Mitch Matez at the Biostation West Del Rey, and hormone replacement pellet therapy. Hormone replacement pellet therapy is all natural. What it does is restore your hormones to where they were when you were in your 20s. You'll feel younger, you'll have more energy, you'll get your sex drive back. And women, hormone replacement pellet therapy completely stops and reverses all the signs and symptoms of menopause. Mood swings, gone. Night sweats, gone. I've met listeners before and after hormone replacement pellet therapy with Dr. Matez, and when I first meet him, they're like Joe Biden, and no one wants to be like him. And then I meet him again after they began hormone replacement pellet therapy, and they have their energy back, just like Trump. They're standing up tall, and they feel years younger. Now, it's always a free consultation with Dr. Matez when you tell him you heard about him on the radio. 561-320-8893. 561-320-8893. Brian Craig here with a question.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to get the Corey Bush. I got to get through this because this is a big one.
Would that make life easier for you? You can with I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will help you set up doctor's appointments, help with your pharmacy, even deal with your pharmacist to make sure that you have your prescriptions. They'll help you find a doctor, including a specialist. If you've been billed improperly by a doctor's office or a hospital, they can help you with that too. They'll even be your advocate when you're in the hospital to make sure you get the care you need and the care you deserve. And that's just the beginning of what they do. I Will Advocates takes care of all Steve Kane's healthcare issues too, and they can do the same for you. I Will Advocate clients are family, and they go to bat for their family when you need them the most. Call Debbie at I Will Advocates right now. Toll free 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326.
Are you exhausted after work with no energy left in the tank to give your family? Are you having a midday crash on a daily basis? Women, are menopause symptoms like hot flashes, anxiety, and depression making your daily life feel far more difficult than it should? Men, do you feel like you are aging far beyond what you should? Is your sexual life and relationship suffering because of disappointments in the bedroom?
Wow.
Take action and let our medical team at Lighthouse Medical Center help you stop the symptoms that are holding you back. We use all natural hormone optimization therapies with precision technology to help solve your problematic symptoms. Our family-owned practice has had the honor of serving our South Florida community for over 71 years. Call us right now and let our medical team get you optimized and feeling the way that you should. Life is too short to be running at less than 100%. You and your family deserve the best version of you. Call us at 754-222-6642 or visit us at lighthousemedicalcenter.com to schedule your consultation today.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. Now, William Youngerman is not with us today, which means you get the amateur gold report, which is me going to WilliamYoungerman.com and pulling up the prices. And I got to tell you, though, gold, up $3.90 today at $2,041.50. Silver down 4 cents at $23.20. And platinum is staying even at $933. You know, I've been telling you guys the last few weeks that, you know, these places that advertise online and on television are overcharging you a lot for your gold, your silver, your platinum, a lot, okay? Those national ads cost a lot of money, whether they're online or on television, and they make you pay for them. In fact, they jack up the price so much on their metals, in particular the silver, but the gold, platinum too, that I don't know how you would ever get your money back. They overcharge you so much. At William Youngerman, that's not the case. You pay what you're supposed to be paying, right? You get a lot more gold, a lot more silver, and a lot more platinum for your money than those guys, okay? No matter where you're located, you can do all your business with William Youngerman, both buying and selling over the phone and through the mail. Just go to his website, williamyoungerman.com, or give him a call, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. And again, you can do all your transactions over the phone and through the mail, even if you're local and you can't make it into the shop in Boca. But if you can, stop in. It is beautiful over there, and all these things we talk about are on display. He has beautiful display cases with, the gold bars and all this stuff that we're always talking about, and coins all the time, and it's really cool. His address, 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway, on the south side of Palmetto Park Road, in the lobby, directly across from the bank. All right, now I want to talk about Cori Bush, because there's a new trend going on. Cori Bush is in trouble for using her campaign funds to pay her husband to do security for her. Then she gave a press conference yesterday, and I'll tell you what the trend is and what's going on. This is Cori Bush on the Capitol steps yesterday.
I hold myself, my campaign, and my position to the highest levels of integrity. I also believe in transparency, which is why I can confirm that the Department of Justice is reviewing my campaign spending on security services. We are fully cooperating with this investigation, and I would like to take this opportunity to outline the facts and the truth. Since before I was sworn into office, I have endured relentless threats to my physical safety.
Whatever. Okay. Blah blah blah. Okay. So Cori, Cori Bush. This is amazing. Okay. This wasn't the Republicans making a comment. This was Merrick Garland's Justice Department have gone after Cori Bush. Merrick Garland's gone after her, and she's a sitting member of the United States House of Representatives. This isn't some rogue prosecutor who did this without Merrick Garland signing off on it. Okay, now what she's doing is criminal, and anyone who tells you they all do this is not true. This is very important. Then I'll tell you what's really going on here. She was paying her husband. Now, all of these politicians have families that get money, but not their spouses. They have their brothers, their sisters, their sons, their daughters, their daughter-in-laws, their son-in-laws, their fifth cousins twice removed, not their spouse. And if this guy were her brother or cousin or something, it'd be different. The reason that Cori Bush is in trouble legally here is because she's paying her husband. That's her money, right? Her husband's money's her money. She's really paying herself for her husband to hang out with her, and they call that security. When you give the money to your junkie kid, like, Joe does to Hunter, the money's not commingled in the same bank accounts. This is why Fannie Willis is in trouble, right? She's not married to that boy toy, but he took her on extravagant vacations with that money, the Napa Valley and stuff. And I promise you, when they went on the cruises, they got the most expensive suite on the ship, I promise you, that they could get. Okay? So she personally was benefiting from the money that you can trace, like Cori Bush. But what's going on here, and because with Cori Bush, this is a fascinating thing with Cori Bush. This is historic. Okay? Black Democrats, they're like James Bond. They got a license to do anything they want whenever they want. Okay? Rarely do they get held accountable. And we see it. Fannie Willis, I don't care that her boy toy settled his divorce case yesterday. She's in trouble with that. That's not going away. Cori Bush is in trouble. Look what happened with Ilhan Omar with this Somalia thing. That Somalia thing was years ago when she said that. That wasn't this week. Right? They got some other clips that are more recent. There's other clips coming out. So what's going on? We got Cori Bush. We got Ilhan Omar. And these are and that Ilhan Omar story, when she's talking about her loyalty to Somalia, what do they speak in Somalian? Is it Somalian? Do they speak Somalian in Somalia? I guess. I don't know. whoever that video is in the Somalian native language, which I'm going to assume is Somalian. And, that's why I haven't played the clip on the air. You can watch it on television or online. It has subtitles. How many Republicans can translate Somalian? Ilhan Omar has been outed by the Democrats, not the Republicans. The Democrats took that tape of her and translated it and put it out there with the subtitles, not the Republicans. And what's going on here, I started the show by going through Trump's polls. Trump is ahead in every poll, and I'm not talking about the Republican primary. That's over. He is ahead and against Biden in every poll, every new poll. Trump is leading in every swing, battleground, toss-up state. And a lot of them, Biden got the Electoral College votes for. So what's going on here? There's a purge taking place in the Democrat Party. And the Democrats, some people inside the Democrat Party have begun to realize that they're losing because they have gotten so radical anti-American. Who advocates against police protection in crime-ridden neighborhoods? Cori Bush. Ilhan Omar is a radical who supported the Palestinian attacks on Israel. Okay? So the Democrats have realized that they're unpopular and losing because they have these radical anti-American, anti-police, foreign Marxists that are at the most high-profile post in their party, and they're alienating their base. So there's a purge going on of Ilhan Omar. Cori Bush is going to end up either announcing she's not running for re-election this time, or resigning. She may write it out and say, I'm not going to run for re-election, and write it out for the rest of her term, but she's more likely to resign over this. And you do not see black Democrat women at that level resign. I mean, Maxine Waters, her husband's been making so much money on deals since she's been in, but they're going after, but she's an old lady who's on her way out. Cori Bush, they want Cori Bush out. They want the squad out. And I'll tell you, AOC better be careful. Okay? Because if they're going after Ilhan Omar, none of these people are untouchable now all of a sudden. But it's not us. The Cori Bush thing proves it. And it's also not, it's Merrick Garland signed off on this. And it's not a coincidence that we got Cori Bush and Ilhan Omar in the same news cycle that they're trying to purge from their party. Now, they think people are stupid enough once Cori Bush and Ilhan Omar are out that, they'll just plug somebody in and people will wake up and go back to the Democrat Party. That's not happening. The entire country has been red-pilled in the last 3 years and see what they're all about. And there's nothing they can do because Joe Rogan was talking this week about how Marxist the Democrats have gotten. They're too far gone to recover from it, okay? Getting rid of these people, I hope they're successful, but it's not going to be enough. What they've done is damaged their brand. They've done the Democrats with these radical anti-Americans, Marxist in their party, have damaged their brand to the same degree Bud Light has. In fact, maybe even worse than Bud Light, okay? But it's at least the equivalent, and we know what Bud Light did to themselves. So this is an amazing thing. Now, this thing with Ilhan Omar and Cori Bush, these are both stories to follow, but it's more than just usually when a Democrat gets called into a scandal, people are like, oh, okay, and then the next day it's gone. Ilhan Omar's in trouble, and they want her out, okay? And this thing of her talking about Somalia is mild. She was involved in immigration fraud with her brother and all this stuff, okay? If she fights back against them, that's going to be the next step. Basically, what the Democrats are doing to Ilhan Omar is what Laura Loomer's been exposing about them for years, and that's what got her canceled from Twitter when the liberals were running it. So this is a dramatic change. And Fannie Willis, she's going to be on her way out too. See, what's happened is, a lot of it has to do with the lawfare. Letitia James, Fannie Willis, they're seeing the blowback that they are getting from these things that they were pushed into by these radical Marxist lunatics, and they want them gone. Cori Bush is one of the biggest mouth Democrats talking about purging our society of police. Okay? And for Merrick Garland to sign off on an investigation in a Justice Department, she could be arrested. Sitting members of Congress have gone to prison, and you know what? Cori Bush very well will go to prison over this. Depends. We'll find out how much money it is. And when somebody's doing something like this, they got 3 or 4 other things going on. Okay, people that are stealing don't just it increases as they get away with it more. So as they do this investigation, if Cori Bush doesn't resign or announce she's not running for re-election when they tell her to, they'll drop something else on her to try to get her to do it. So it couldn't happen to nicer people. Well, listen, that's all the time we have for today. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. My name is Brian Craig. This is The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 47 years on the radio this year. Pretty exciting. Don't forget, go to MyPillow.com. Use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. Free shipping on all items at MyPillow.com, no matter how large, no matter how small. Free shipping, plus you get the special deal, too. That's site-wide with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. All right, my name is Brian Craig. I will see you tomorrow. God bless America, and, of course, God bless the greatest president we've ever had, and he'll be president again, too, Donald Trump. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miracle.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad I forgot about the Cori Bush, Ilhan Omar stuff. All right, guys, make sure you like the video and subscribe before you go, all right? I got to get going before the delivery man gets to my house. I'll